See her for it. Tell me what you for it, yeah. Hey, you pay me, but I'm yeah, 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 yeah. All this money on me. Whoa. Yeah, yeah. Cash rules all around me. Whoa. Yeah, yeah. All this money around me. Whoa. Yeah, yeah. Cash rules all around me.
Hey, yeah, man, how you feel like a man with that? Hey, I tell her a little real, like stay true that. Cool by the king, got drip by the wave, yeah. Hey, yeah, we be independent living, you $1 million slave, yeah. Hey, yeah, tell them keep it simple, stupid, cause it's all about the feeling. Hey, yeah, they done fucked around and let some young niggas in the building. Hey, yeah, I'm a suave young player like the fan with a hot shot. Hey, yeah, got that 30 on me, baby, hit and go with a plot twist. Hey, yeah, if your pocket's broken, shawty, I can hit you with the remedy. Hey, yeah, and I keep it thorough, baby, you can tell it by my energy. Hey, yeah,
Black boy joy, she wanna see the Forbes like I wanna see her form. Tell me what you for it, yeah. Hey, you pay me, but I'm yeah, 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 yeah. All this money on me. Whoa. Yeah, yeah. Cash rules all around me. Whoa. Yeah, yeah. All this money around me. Whoa. Yeah, yeah. Cash rules all around me. Whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
NathanIvey.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. And for Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised dogs, close fish, yeah, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squad in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info about it? Hey, yo, John O. B. the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Drippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati Reds at. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 513, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Where my people at, good morning to you. Welcome back. Pardon my lateness. Good morning to you. Let's get back into it. Another beautiful day. We got some special guests joining us by phone later on in the program. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Good morning to you. It is an absolutely beautiful day. Good morning to you. And I'll say it again, man. Tell the people that you love them while they're here. Don't wait until they're gone. Let them know. Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So at about 8:30 a.m., we got some folks coming in from the Cincinnati Police Department. They are recruiting. I'll say it again. I meant it when I said it. I 100% support our local police force, and I 100% support the idea that we need good people, good black and brown people, but people of all races to join the police force. It's a numbers game. We need good, conscious people with good, strong moral fiber to be on our police force. It's a very admirable job, in my opinion. And I know a lot of folks on the police force, got family on police force here in Cincinnati. And I think, generally speaking, that makes the force even better. So that's coming up at about 8:30 a.m. Also got some requests for some other interviews out, and we'll see if they come through. They might come through this morning. They may not. Nathan Ivey with you, one man, one microphone, one mission. I'm live, I'm local, and I'm vocal, as you can see right there. Good morning to you. And a lot to discuss. We got a lot of ground to cover this morning. I might even mix in a little bit of local politics here because I just want to reiterate things that you might have missed. But I want to talk about, I got 3 questions for you. One is a question about Condi Rice. Is she a foot soldier for white supremacy? That's what Brother Torre said. If you're not hip to Torre, man, well, listen, I understand it, but he is a prolific writer and commentary columnist. He's done a lot of things. He does a podcast right now. He also writes for the Griot. He wrote a piece about the Griot, or in the Griot, that published in the Griot, about the appearance of Condi Rice. She was on The View. And don't tell me you never watched The View before, because The View has been fire over the years. I love these spaces where people are having these kind of divergent conversations. I love it. But Condi Rice went on The View, and they were talking about CRT, that's critical race theory. And you may or may not believe what she said. Can I finish my intro, son? You mind? You mind? No, I can't finish. Well, come on in here. You in here now.
I need that sword.
You need what sword?
The one where me and Kenna were like playing with it.
Like the big sword, the sword that's kind of like really big, or the toy sword?
Like the long one with the where you like pull the thing.
I don't know. Maybe the last time I saw it was over by the window in the over by the dining area. So go check it out. Glad you found it, son. This motherfucker just interrupted my show to ask about a sword. What show the people what you found now, since you interrupted my flows. Show them. The camera's right there, buddy. There he is. Thank you.
Because I got a new costume for Halloween, and the sword goes with this.
You got a new costume for Halloween, the sword goes with it? Okay.
And
It's a ninja. Okay, well, it makes perfect sense to interrupt Daddy's flow. It's a family show. Where was I? So basically, you may or may not believe what Condi Rice said about critical race theory, but I'll share it with you in just a couple of minutes. I got 3 questions for you. Of course, we got a smattering of other topics related to people, politics, and pleasure that we may or may not get to. Should Black people support the NFL? And, a lot of people in Cincinnati are into the Bengals right now. The NFL is hot. It's the most popular of all the major sports. And since the Bengals seem to have a team worth watching, I just want to challenge people a bit, because a former player that used to play for the Green Bay Packers, he tweeted a couple things that may give you something to think about. Also, should people refer to trans people as the gender that they prefer? This seems to be like, I've heard a lot of people do this before. Like, they'll be having a conversation about a transgender woman or man, and they'll be like, well, that's a man, like what they are biologically, or that's a woman, I'm going to call them what they biologically are. And I thought to myself, I've been thinking about it. I think that shit is rude as hell. But what's prompting this is because we all want to be referred to how we want to be self-defined. Why would it be any different with trans people? And what's prompted this is a video that I'm not sure if it's gone viral or not, but I saw it within the last 24 hours about a trans woman, born biologically a man, now living as a woman. And he goes into a fast food place and feels as if he's disrespected, and then all hell breaks loose. And it just made me think, like, I wonder what the people think about that. So we'll get into it. 513-873-7134. And again, my mother passed away on Monday, and I appreciate all the well wishers. And it's a very emotional time right now. Oh, that's okay, buddy. I know. I love you.
I'm sad for your mother.
You're sad for my mother? Okay. My mother, your grandmother. That's the circle of life, son. Okay. I love you. All right. That's my boy right there. Man. See, the good thing about kids is that boy will do anything for me, his family, anything. And, when you got that kind of support behind you, you can never lose. You can never lose. Good morning to you. Again, 513-873-7134. Let me see if I can put the number on the screen for you, because you may want to call in, or you might be like, "Nah, I'm gonna just take a free ride in your thoughts this morning, Nate. I'm gonna let you do the heavy lifting, bro, and we'll leave it like that." Good morning to you. Election day is less than a week away. Damn, it seems like this season has been stretched the hell out. And I haven't looked at any numbers. I've talked to people who have claimed to have had insight on some of the poll numbers and things like that. I haven't seen any of them, so I don't really know. But I hope that the turnout is what it is. And you got some big decisions to make. The wife and I have been, we're going to be early voting probably over the weekend. And she was asking me questions about it. And on some levels, I can understand how it might be tough for some people. Because as I said, you got three tiers. You got three tiers when it comes to city council. You got a top tier where there's only a few people that are like, yeah, I definitely want this person to be on city council. You got the middle tier where it's just like that's where the majority of all those candidates are. They just all kind of blend together. There's nothing very distinguishable about any about them. Some of the good people, some have good have experience, some don't. They say the right things. Some have specific ideas. Many of them don't. That's the one thing that I gathered from city council is that the vast majority of the council candidates, they don't have no specific policy ideas. The vast majority of them. The vast majority of them have overarching sort of visions. And I don't necessarily hold that against anybody. And they have varying degrees that was demonstrated during those NAACP forums. I'm telling you, don't think you have to watch the entire. You want to show the people? Say what now?
Hi, Nathan the Choppers.
What did you just say? You said choppers. What did you say before that? You want to show the people the book you read? Yeah, he's reading now. He read this whole book by himself.
It's called My Friends.
Yes.
And I forgot what their name was by.
Okay.
Do you know?
I don't think it's time to talk about it, buddy. Let's talk about it later. He is funny, man. Oh my God, that's my boy though. So I'm doing the show now from my home studio. This is where my home studio is really my bookshelf, my lamps, and some black art, the whole 9 yards on the walls. This is really where I do what I do. I just put a camera in here and did start doing the show. So they come in and out from time to time. He comes out primarily. Sometimes I'll drag the wifey into the shot or drag my daughter in just because it's been too long. And they're preparing to so my office is, as you walk in, our front door is near it. So that's why as they're leaving in the morning, we start to get a little bit of traffic. Right. Good morning to you. So as I said, you got the top tier where there's only a few people. When I say a few, I'm talking about 3, 4, maybe 5, but I'm really counting 4 people at the very top where I'm like, yeah, this person. Everybody else, the vast majority is in that middle, and it's very hard to distinguish between them. Sometimes it's personal reasons. Here locally, you know them personally, or there might be 1 or 2 things that really stand out for you, but it's really just like throwing darts, really, in my opinion, at a dartboard. Good people, intelligent people, they might do great jobs, but at this point, it's hard to really say. They haven't really distinguished themselves. And then the bottom, you got a few people. It's kind of like, really, bro? Really, sis? No, right? It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be very hard. I have looked at the Republican slate. I've looked at the charter slate. I've looked at the Democrat slate. I've looked at the black political slate. And me personally, I ain't voting for none of them people down the slate. None of them. I got problems with each and every one of them. There's some good people on there, and there's a lot of crossover, but just down the line, that's not the best. That's not the best 5, 6, 8, or 9 or whatever. And again, it's something to think about. Like, how many people of city council are you really going to vote for? You're going to go for 9, or you're going to concentrate your votes with 5 or 6. Again, 6 is a veto-proof majority. 5 is a majority. So some say it might be smarter to do that. Something to think about. 513 873 7134. But let's talk about critical race theory again. And let's talk about what happened between Condoleezza Rice and Toure. So Condoleezza Rice, as you know, and you got to give Condoleezza Rice her props. You really do. I mean, Condoleezza Rice is one of the most accomplished black women in the country, if not the world. And I say accomplished, not that she has the most money, but in terms of her accomplishments, I mean, sis has done her job. American diplomat, political science, civil servant, professor. She's currently the director of the Hoover Institution at Stanford University. The list goes on and on and on. She happens to be a Republican. She's about 60, 65, 66 years of age. Um, and she was a part of the baby Bush administration, Condoleezza Rice. And again, you can never hate on what that sister has accomplished. If you separate her politics and what we're going to talk about today from her accomplishments, then what you're going to have is be left with is a very smart, intelligent Black woman. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. Sis is sharp. She is super sharp with the mentals and just what she has been able to accomplish for herself. I can definitely see um, young women or women in general looking up to her in terms of what she's been able to accomplish. I can definitely see that. No doubt about that. She deserves our respect on that level. Absolutely, 100%. In my humble opinion, you might feel differently. In my humble opinion, okay. But she goes on The View, and they were having a conversation about critical race theory, which are we even really talking about the same things? As I understand it, this is something that's taught in like upper, like graduate studies, college level, law school level, and now it's just all been politicized. And when people talk about critical race theory now, a lot of people are referring to the idea of expanding the conversation about racism, white supremacy through American history, right? That's whether that's right or wrong. That's the way a lot of people view it. Okay. And I do understand the correct way of viewing it, but I'm just saying that's the way a lot of people view it. So she goes on The View and she's sitting at the table and she's having a conversation about critical race theory. See you later, love. You going straight to the office? All right. I know. I know. I already know. They need you. Do what you got to do. I already know. So a lot of people. So she goes on The View, and they're having a conversation about critical race theory, and she says some things that people have really been talking about ever since. And Torre kind of jumped on this, and he said that basically after her appearance on The View, that she proved that she is a foot soldier for white supremacy. And it's very popular these days to talk about white supremacy in that way, as if there is a war going on. People like Tariq Nasheed and others have made talking about that topic in that way very, very popular. She's a foot soldier, right? Like she's on the wrong side of the war against Black people or melanated people, right? Because of her comments. And what did she say? Well, essentially, and I'm paraphrasing, she said that, part of her problem with critical race theory is that, she that white kids shouldn't be made to feel bad about the history in America. And that Black kids, because she couldn't just leave it like that. She's too smart for that, right? Because she left it right there. She already knows she opening a floodgate. So she tried to balance it out. And she said, yeah, so white kids, her problem with critical race theory is that white kids, shouldn't be made to feel bad about a history that they weren't involved in, right? So what happened before they were born. And that Black kids shouldn't feel as if they're disempowered because we spend too much time talking about what happened to your ancestors, right? And I'd like to get your thoughts about whether you think that that is a fair way of looking at critical race theory / the idea of expanding the what we talk about, what is taught in our schools as it relates to American history. Because I went to public school and they didn't tell us everything. They didn't tell us the real deal. They didn't spend a lot of time talking about what really happened to melanated folks in this country. They didn't really spend, they glossed over it. They spent a lot of time with the I Have a Dream speech. Public school education spent and when I was coming up, spent a lot of time on the stuff that made America look good and not the real. And so Torre says that, look, she's a foot soldier for white supremacy. And I'd like to get your thoughts about that at 513-873-7134. Do you think that's a fair way of looking at what the sister Condoleezza Rice had to say? Is that fair in your opinion? And he wrote a piece in the Griot. I'm going to link it to you right now. You can check it out for yourself. I know we got a lot of smart, intelligent people that like to read things for their damn self. I know I do. And so you can check it out for yourself. And again, you may not have time to go searching for it. I'm going to make it easy for you. There it is. There you go. I'm going to make it easy for you because you might want to look at it and check it out for yourself. And you might want to check it out this morning. Check it out for yourself and tell me what you think. You tell me. Thank you, Eloise. I appreciate it. TNT writes, oh, what did she say? Well, she says essentially that her problem with critical race theory, or the idea, right? Because that's not really critical race theory as I understand it. The idea of expanding, what is taught about racism and the plight of melanated people in this country in our schools. She said her problem with it is that, white kids she doesn't think it's productive to make white kids feel bad about what their grandfathers did and their great grandfathers did, and perhaps their mothers and fathers did, or their great great granddaddies did. And she also said on the other side of that, she doesn't think it's productive for black kids to feel disempowered because we're teaching them about all this stuff, this bad stuff, right, that happened to their ancestors. Ponder it for a second and tell me what you think. What do you think? What do you think? I'm very curious. Let's get to the choppers. No! Tell me what you think. Get to the chopper! I mean, what your honest thoughts is. We can always agree, disagree. I mean, think what it is. Lewis writes, top of the morning, brother Nate, ready to head out and cut this grass. What's up with you, Lewis? Ernest writes, my prayers to you and your family. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Roots Tafari. What's up, Roots? Appreciate you. Sandra writes, oh, Nate, so sorry, praying for you and your family. Moms are special. Moms are special. And she's forever in my thoughts. Absolutely. And we're making arrangements right now. It's all very, very difficult. But again, I'm just going through something that you're going to go through, either with your family members or yourself. Chairman Mom, hopefully I'll see her on the other side. She just made the transition before I did. And I hope it was a peaceful transition. Again, from the outside looking in, it appeared to be peaceful, but you never know what's happening internally. Tiffany writes, good morning. Good morning to you. A.R. Thompson writes, good risings all. What's up, Ray? Good to see you. Brandy writes, greetings. No! Good to see everybody. Jerome writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Good morning. Fame is in the house. Good morning, Choppers. I'm only here for the chicken heads from Pasadena to Medina. Man, listen, you talk all this stuff about brotherhood and black folks. I want to see you reunite with Black Russia. I want to see you reunite. And maybe after the election, I know y'all fell out about the mayoral election, Black Russia supporting David Mann and you and Ayatollah Flomeini. I don't make these names up. They did. Are supporting Avtab Purival. But damn it, don't let something like an election break up B2K. Don't let it. Y'all are the B2K of the Nathan Ivey Show, the Chop Shop. Don't let that happen. Don't let that happen. Joe writes, Grand Risings, Nate and Choppers. Sean writes, good morning, Nate. Kelly writes, good morning. Janice is in the house. She writes, good morning, Nate and Choppers. Love and blessings. Good morning. Nat writes, good hump day, Choppers. It is a good hump day. Yeah, absolutely. Sister V is in the house. Good to see you, Sister V. She writes, Hotep, beautiful people. Virtual hugs to you all. Okay, I'm here to receive that. Sean writes, yes, she is a foot soldier for white supremacy. Well, let me tell you how I feel about it just a little bit, because I want to get at least one comment in. I don't understand why Condoleezza Rice cares so much about the feelings of white kids. I don't get that. The truth is the truth is the truth is the truth. It'd be one thing if you were talking about propaganda, if you was talking about misinformation, if you was talking about, purposely lying to students, kids, college-age people about the history of America, I wouldn't be for it. But if we're talking about the truth shall set you free. So my thing about this, and I'm very consistent about it, if America was bold enough to do this to black people, well, gosh darn it, We should be bold enough to teach young people about what America was bold enough to do, period, across the board. If it happened, it happened, period. Simple as that. And maybe white kids should feel bad about what their ancestors did. Maybe they should feel bad about it. See, I'm not a sugarcoat kind of person. I don't sugarcoat a lot of things at all. Because I forget where I put the topping, and I'm not a liar. That's just not me. I'm a 100 kind of person because, integrity means everything. And the truth shall set you free. That's why I don't understand cheaters. If you was grown enough and bold enough to cheat on your spouse, then damn it, you should be grown enough and bold enough to tell your spouse you cheated, period. Simple as that. Male, female, I don't get it. Or just keep it real. 100. And for me, if the conversation is about expanding the truth, then damn it, I'm going to choose the truth every single day. And this idea that, you're going to make black kids feel bad because you're teaching them all about what the white supremacists did, I don't really believe that. I think it's just window dressing. I don't believe that. Because I remember as a kid reading Jet magazine, and I remember that's the first time I ever learned about Emmett Till. And I didn't feel bad. I was mad as hell when I saw Emmett Till as a kid. See, that's the real reason why they don't want to teach it. Because they don't want black kids to be mad about what really happened. And then take that anger and get active politically or socially. That's what I think it is. When I learned about Emmett Till, I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel like, oh, they're better than me. I was mad as hell. When I stepped on the college campus, I will admit, at first, I thought, damn, these people are smarter than me. And it wasn't just the white people. I just kind of felt that way for whatever reason, right? But when I got in the classroom and started to hear the quality of the questions and started to interact with people, them motherfuckers don't know shit like I didn't know shit. Excuse my language. Lord, forgive me for my brash. They ain't know a damn thing either. We all in the same spot. I can compete and win. I can compete and win. So I don't believe that. I don't think that if you expanded the knowledge base of the truth about what happened in a racial way, that's going to punk out black kids. I don't believe that one bit. I don't believe that one bit. Not one bit. Do you? And if white kids are taught an expanded truth about the history of this country, the way this country was really built, not all of the white sprinkles on top, right? Then if they feel bad about it, and I'm not really sure they feel bad, they might have more empathy. They might have a better understanding of what's going on today and why there's so many disparities and why there's so many things, why there's like two Cincinnatis, right? They may have a better idea about that, but I thought that Condoleezza Rice was on some dumb-ish. Now, does that make her a foot soldier for white supremacy? It does, in the sense that I'm not sure how many people watched that. Let's say 1 million people watched it. And they were exposed to this black woman, this intelligent, prominent black woman, saying dumb-ish, saying stuff that satisfies their own insecurities or desire to sugarcoat the truth. So in that way, yeah, right? But that's how I looked at it. I mean, real is real. The truth is the truth. You know what I'm saying? Well, my children, they learn the truth 100%. If you don't, my daughter don't ask me certain questions because she already know where her father coming from. It's like, I don't want to know. Are you ready to learn about the birds and the bees? Nope, I don't want to know. But she already know I'm gonna get out the charts. I'm gonna get the condoms out. We're gonna get us a banana. We're gonna have a real conversation using, and I teach her all the words. So here is the clinical definition, and here's the way they talk on the streets. Right? She ain't ready for it. Well, she wasn't ready for it. She got it anyway. Because now she's 16. I'd be setting her up for failure if I didn't keep it real with her. Gladys writes, good morning, Nana Choppers. Krutha writes, good morning, Choppers. Jerica writes, hola, beautiful black people, and the others too. Good morning to you, Jerica. Sandra's in the house. She's watching. Good to see you, Sandra. Tanika writes, good morning, Nana Choppers. Get to the choppers. Dale writes, good morning, Nana Choppers. Oh, Junior. Yeah, Junior this is his show. Callie writes, good morning. My continued prayers for your family. Thank you so much. Appreciate everybody. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much, Ernest and Roots. Appreciate it. Roots writes, don't toy shame, brother Nate. I'm not toy shaming. I'm like, you're going to interrupt the show, my monologue at that, so that he can ask me where his toy samurai sword is. Okay. It's fun having a 6-year-old, man, because, we'll be sitting there chilling, and this dude's behind the couch for the last 15, 20 minutes. He'll pop out with a mask on and a sword. All I can do is laugh, right? Yo writes, good morning, everyone. Continued prayers to you and your family. Thank you so much. I appreciate the prayers. Daryl writes, hi, Nate and Choppers. Prayers for you and your family. Appreciate it. Nat writes, the owners of the NFL are the same type of people who produce movies and TV shows and most of the business industry in America. KKK. Selective outrage. Okay. We'll talk about it because there's a brother who used to play, I believe he was a tight end, and he got cut by the Green Bay Packers. And he had something to say about it most recently via Twitter. And it's worthy a little bit of our time, perhaps. We'll see. Brenda writes, good morning, all. Good morning to you, Brenda. Brandy writes, good morning, people. Good morning to you. Gladys writes, oh, he wanted to read to us. You know what? I think so. Brian writes, morning, GSW. Well, I must admit, Brian, y'all got yourself a squad over there this year, man. Y'all got yourself a squad over here. I would not be surprised at this point. It's early on. They only got 4 or 5 games in, but I would not be surprised if GSW, as Golden State Warriors, are competing for the Western Conference Championship. I would not be surprised. Them boys is balling. They got some vets. Klay Thompson's coming back next year. And then Weissman's coming back. Whoo, and they play as a team. They got vets. And Steph Curry is a monster. Steph Curry is an absolute nightmare on the basketball court. What you gonna do about that? And he light-skinned it? Oh, man. I'm joking. Sister V writes, gotta love Lil Junior. Exactly. You must do that. Roots writes, congratulations. Literacy is freedom. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. That's my boy right there. Love that boy. Eloise writes, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Absolutely. Sending prayers. Thank you so much. Anthony's in the house. Good to see you, Anthony. Appreciate all your posts. All the people that's posting, man. But Anthony's going super hard for the friends who like the Nathan Ivey Show. And I appreciate you, brother. Keeping us leveled up. What's up, Grizz? Grizz in the house. He writes, morning, Choppers. Good morning to you. Kush writes, good morning, Nathan the Mighty Choppers. Good morning to you. Yeah, it's just so funny, man, because like people know about the show. They know about the Choppers. They love being in the chop shop and what we've created together. And we're just getting started. So please share. Not everybody's going to like it. Not everybody's going to like my style. Not everybody's going to like what we've created together. And not everybody's going to appreciate what comes next. But it's coming no matter what. Good morning to you. Cruther writes, I saw Condi on The View. She may be smart and accomplished. However, I have no respect for her. Very intelligent woman. I would never disrespect her intelligence or her accomplishments. We got to respect that. But her view on this, I'm like, does she really think this all the way out? Like, what kind of black person, when they're asked about CRT, your response is, well, what about white people's feelings? What did you just say? Huh? What? Can you say that again, please? Slow it down for me. I'm like, no, sis. Wrong answer. Dale writes, Michael Harriot had a great thread on CRT yesterday on Twitter. Did he? I'll check it out. Thank you for that. Cruther writes, okay, I think I read that. Sister V writes, did white folks worry about how black kids felt when they teaching their kids that we were happy slaves, glossing over how they stole, raped, and robbed us for over 450 years? WTF, correctamundo, Sister V. Right. That's just a strange thing to come out of a black person's mouth, and you're talking about critical race theory on television to me. I don't even think that way. But since he said it, I mean, listen, we the chop shop, man. We don't just react, we think. So let's think our way through this morning. I'm like, is there any, and again, whatever your viewpoint is whatever it is. There might be some people out there like, nah, she got a point. Does anybody feel like Condoleezza Rice has a point, and can you articulate what that might be? I'm just curious. To me, I don't see it, but I have just learned that the truth does set you free, and that it's just better. You got to stand for something in this world. And with my children, there have been times where there was a little bit of conversation about what we should tell them, but it's always easy for me because I'm gonna tell you the truth. As simple as that. I don't sugarcoat a damn thing. You know what I'm saying? We going to Thanksgiving up in Cleveland soon, right? If my children come up with some bad grades, I'm gonna tell everybody. You talk to your niece right here. Talk to your nephew. Why? Because I understand that community. That's that village. You know what I'm saying? Some parents might be like, "Well, let's not talk about this." I don't do none of that. If you was bold enough to do it, I'm bold enough to say you did it. If I was bold enough to do something, you better damn believe I'm bold enough to say I did it. Now I might say it was a mistake, but lie that would make me less of a man. The way I look at it, I ain't got time for that. Who am I lying to about what? Why would I do that? So it's the same thing with CRT slash expanding the truth about American history, because that's not really the same thing, and I understand that. Although for most people it is. If America, I'll say it again, if this country throughout its history was bold enough to do certain things, then damn it, in modern day American schools, we should be bold enough to teach our children what America did. Period. And it really is no equivocation on that across the board. Why wouldn't we? Like, and to do anything less, I think, would be straight propaganda. And that's the other thing about it. Since the beginning of the American school system, American kids, black and white, have been miseducated. Black and white. Part of the reason why you got white adults running around here right now, these Karens and Darrens, is because they was miseducated back in school. They was taught a bunch of BS and they glossed over the truth, right? Same thing with black kids. We all been miseducated. I was miseducated by the Cincinnati public school system, period. It's the truth. And so the only way to balance that out is with the truth. If it don't feel good, so what? You better drink some water and wash the bad taste out your mouth. Wash it all down. Wash it down. But the truth is the truth. You know what I'm saying? When you building muscles, you got to go through what? Pain, the tearing of the muscles. And when you're building a better generation, you got to go through what? Perhaps some pain. To me, this is very simple. It's very, very simple. So I don't really understand where Condoleezza Rice is coming from. But the other part about it, is it fair to say that she's a foot soldier for white supremacy? Like, white supremacy is like the Illuminati, and they give out badges based upon your accomplishments and things like that. Oh, no. You tell me. 513-873, or take a free ride of my thoughts, 873-7134. You tell me. Again, coming up at 8:30, we got a rep coming in or calling in from the Cincinnati Police Department to talk about the recruitment efforts. And that could be a career for somebody out there. There's a lot worse things you could do with your time. There's a lot worse ways you can make money. And you can stack some chips, get yourself a nice little retirement and a pension, and then use that money to start other things. I know a couple of police officers that did just that. They made their bread, stacked them chips, and now either close to retirement or in retirement, they doing other things. What's wrong with that? There is a lot worse jobs that you could have out here. We need good, smart, intelligent people. And especially we need good, smart, intelligent black and brown people to become Cincinnati police officers. I stand by that. It's a numbers game. So we need more conscious people with good hearts that's doing the job for the right reasons, and to overpopulate the people that got into it because they got bullied in high school. You got some problem with this kind of demographic or that kind of demographic, or you got emotional issues and you're looking for the badge to take it out on people on the low. Damn all that. But we can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So that's at 8:30 a.m. this morning. So make sure you stick around with that. All right. Also coming up, a few more topics that we must discuss. And I got to get your thoughts on this. I'm very, very interesting. Should black people support the NFL? I know that might be a difficult question for my Bengal fans because y'all all in y'all feelings right now. Who they, who they, who they, who they, who they, and who they, and who they. And oh, by the way, did I say who they? Y'all love it. Jamar Chase, ooh, y'all got a dog on y'all hands. Joe Burrow. Now, to me, it's too easy to say that these cats are official because I need to see y'all in the big games with all the pressure, with all the expectations, right? It's one thing to have success when there's no expectations. It's another when you have expectations and you're going against another team and the chip is on the line, okay? So from what I see, and I've been saying it since the first game, I see different energy, offense, defense, special teams, sidelines, whole new energy. There's a little bit more we can do with those helmets, but I'm liking the changes with the uniforms because what did I tell y'all? And see, what I told you is coming true. I told you. Until the Bengals change those uniforms, they ain't winning a damn thing. Now they're making some small but very noticeable changes to the uniforms. That helmet is next. I'm telling you. When they change that helmet, ooh, man. Oh, my God, you're going to have something. Because just the history of losing gets, like, stuck in the fabrics and the image. You got to change all of that. Just be radical with it. All right, Denver Broncos change the uniforms. What happens? Back-to-back Super Bowls. Tampa Bay changed those uniforms. They look nice now. Look at them. Championships back in the day. Tony Dungy, John Gruden. Who else? New England Patriots. They wouldn't win a damn thing. I don't care how good Tom Brady was. You got that little soft ass hut one, hut two guy, whatever that was called on the side of those old school New England Patriot helmets. Hut one, hut two, hike. The hell? Now they got some tough colors. They got a logo you can get behind. Same thing's going to be true of the Bengals. Watch it. So this may be a difficult conversation for my Bengal fans because y'all ain't giving it them who days, are you? You looking forward to every Sunday. And also, should people refer to trans people as the gender that they prefer? Right? So if you're dealing with a trans individual, let's say born a man but now living as a woman, I've heard people say in conversations, be like, that's a man. And I'm like, is that the right way to deal with it? And there's a video I want to show with you, I'll show to you when we talk about that. But for now, let me push away from the shores of the show just a little bit, and we'll go into our first break. I want to remind you that early voting is taking place here in Hamilton County as we speak. You can vote early this week, today, tomorrow, the weekend, and Monday, all the way up until November 1st. All right, so you can get it in. Big decisions we got to make. And there's a few people that are running for various offices that want to bend your ear. So we'll hear from them, and we'll come right back.
Good morning, Choppers. I'm Scotty Johnson, candidate for Cincinnati City Council. Unfortunately, injustice remains in the city of Cincinnati. A remedy for injustice is courageous, bold leadership. I plan on bringing that type of leadership to City Hall. It's time to stop talking about it and to start doing something about it. Disparities have been in Cincinnati far too long. I'm the candidate to address those disparities. Vote Scotty Johnson for Cincinnati City Council.
Paid for by friends of Scotty Johnson.
I'm former Mayor Dwight Tillery asking you to vote for my friend, Michelle Dillingham, who is a Democrat running for Cincinnati City Council. The black population in our city has declined, pushing black homeowners out, while speculators purchase their houses for pennies on the dollar. Black people are being foreclosed on because of rigged housing and economic systems.
Michelle Dillingham will fight for you. This is Victoria Strong. You know me, Sister V. City Council prefers investing in a soccer stadium and gentrifying our historic neighborhoods. Malcolm X said that if you don't own land, you're nothing but a squatter.
Come on, Michelle, talk to the people.
City Council is being sued for discriminatory tax abatement programs that unfairly enrich wealthy white neighborhoods. I know because I've been fighting for reform for years. Isn't it time to elect a candidate who will stand up for the people over special interests? Vote for me, Michelle Dillingham, Democrat for Cincinnati City Council.
Paid for by Dillingham for Council Committee. This is Hamilton County Commissioner Alicia Reese, and I've been busy fighting hard for the citizens of our county. But today I'm asking you to vote for my friend, Democrat Elizabeth Tye, for municipal court judge. Elizabeth Tye and her family stood with me in a tough election. Now I'm asking you to stand with Elizabeth Tye for judge. She's from our community, and she's qualified. Elizabeth Tye grew up in Kennedy Heights and graduated from Central State University. Elizabeth Tye has been a prosecutor, a public defender, and has built a law practice from the bottom up. There is currently only one Black woman on the municipal court. It's time to send another one. Join me in voting for my sister, Elizabeth Tye, for judge. Meet me at the polls.
This is Elizabeth Tye, and there is only one judicial race, and I need you to vote Tye for judge. Let's send a clear message that hard work and experience matters. Go vote Tye for judge today.
Paid for by the committee to elect Democrat Elizabeth Tye for municipal judge.
Hi, this is County Commissioner Alicia Reese, and I'm supporting Reggie Harris for Cincinnati City Council. Not only did Reggie support me in my tough election last year, but we walked the streets of Cincinnati together to deliver food and help citizens in this pandemic. Reggie Harris knows what it means to help people in these tough times, and as a former vice mayor, I know how important it is to have good leaders at City Hall. That's why I'm asking you to join with me in voting for Reggie Harris for City Council.
Paid for by friends of Reggie Harris.
Can't sleep.
It's hard to pay attention in school.
I say mean things.
I keep getting in trouble.
I bully other kids.
I'm just scared.
No one sees my pain.
Sometimes I want to die.
So many of our children are facing trauma, but instead of seeing their pain and fear, we're labeling them bad, troubled, delinquent, or criminal. Let's look beyond their behaviors. Let's get them the help they need by helping them address the trauma they're facing.
Help me feel safe.
See me for more than my behaviors.
Understand that my actions are how I communicate my fears.
For more information, visit www.ohiostateofemergency.com. That's ohiostateofemergency.com.
All right, good morning, everybody. Plus, I want to remind you that that spot that we're running for the folks over at the Ohio State of Emergency, it is paid for by my friends over at Renew Community Church. And make sure you check them out, ohiostateofemergency.com. They're doing great work and sort of lifting the veil off of just how important, just how big of a factor trauma is in some of the things that, you know, make the headlines here on a regular basis here in the city of Cincinnati and perhaps beyond. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back. I'm live. I'm local and I'm vocal. Good morning to you. Welcome back. Good morning to you. We still kicking it, man. 4 years removed from corporate radio, still kicking it. And of course, this weekend, I mean, shout out to the folks at the Cincinnati NAACP. I'm going to be awarded the Inspiring Innovator Award. Looking forward to it. And this is interesting, man. This makes you kind of think back. It really does, man, throughout my radio career and some of the acknowledgments that I received over the years. And, you know, growing up in the city, being, as I describe myself, as more of a progressive, I was really, really fond of the Cincinnati City Beat. I mean, it was like my Bible. I had to every publication I had to read. Kathy Y. Wilson was doing the Negro tour guide, and I was just such a big fan of it. And it's just funny, man, is because, you know, I ended up getting to know her a lot better. I ran into her brother recently, and just a lot of prayers and thoughts for Kathy Y. Wilson, and she's dealing with some health issues right now. But what I found out is there was a mutual respect between Kathy and I, even though we had some disagreements. And it's pretty interesting how, very interesting how things turn out, because I remember I was like 1 year into my first year in commercial radio, and I used to do it every week. I had to pick up my City Beat magazine. I like to get the hard copy, which I still like to get, and just read through it because it was just so much good information. It was a different perspective. And I remember I picked it up. They was doing their best of. It was the best of Cincinnati. And I didn't think anything of it. I guess it was readers, and then the staff would pick the best of like nightlife and politicians and also media types. I didn't think anything of. I pick it up, never forget. I pick it up. I was on my way back to the house. This is way before we had children, just me and the wifey at that point. I was going back to our apartment. And I'm reading through there, and I read Best New Talk Radio Voice, Nathan Ivey. And somebody wrote that I was a rebel without pause in a market that desperately needed it. I was blown away. It was completely shocked. I'm like, nobody called me or anything. But when I read the description, I was like, somebody gets me. And there's been a lot of little things like that over the years with local acknowledgement for your boy's skills that, you kind of forget it. And so it's the same way I look at this with the NAACP. I just do what I do. So other people recognizing it, it means a lot. You're talking about the nation's oldest civil rights organization. So it means a lot. And 4 years removed from commercial radio. And that's why I keep telling people, and people are so well-intentioned. I think they think I don't mean it, but I am extremely happy. I couldn't be more happy with where I am and what I'm doing, quite honestly. And I have no shade to throw at the folks that gave me a shot at commercial radio, because it was all a part of it. But I think that I'm living proof that you can do your own thing. And I just remember that the program director, Jerry Tolliver, at the time, this was maybe like a year and a half, 2 years before they decided to make the changes that they did. She was telling me behind the scenes that I should leave commercial radio and do my own thing. Now, this was my essential supervisor, right? She was the program director, and she's telling me this. And she was saying it for two reasons. Now, I mean, one is she could see the writing on the wall. Like I told you, that whole situation had more to do with Jerry Tolliver than me. You had a white manager that wanted to make some changes and didn't really like Jerry. And so he basically set the table so he could do what he wanted to do. And that's what he did. And I kind of got caught up with that. And I remember her telling me that. And at the time, I'm like, well, why would you want me to do it? She was like, you could do your own thing. There's podcasting. And that's when I really started thinking about it. Like, started thinking about it. But see, sometimes you got to be pushed out the nest, right, before you start to take flight. And that's how I look at it. So I think very favorably, and still have a lot of friends, people that I support and want to see them do well in commercial radio. But here we are 4 years later, and we're doing exactly what we set out to do. And we're growing every single day. Every single day. I've got national recognition, local recognition. We started our own network, now working with other creators. And we are just getting started. So I know I ran into people, at least, I can't tell you how frequently, but when I run into people, a lot of people like, I just ran into somebody a couple of weeks ago. I was like, man, I miss you on the radio. What you doing now? I'm like, I'm on the best radio station in the world. My own. I'm on the best radio station in the world. I'll say it again. Nate is Gucci. Trust me when I tell you that. I'm Gucci. And I just made a decision many years ago that my God-given talents, nobody's ever going to get more out of my talents than I do. It's never going to happen. And no shade at all, but radio never paid me the way I should have been paid. They never paid me monetarily what I was bringing to the table. But that's all different now. So I'm just very blessed in a lot of ways because I got good people around me, a good family. And I'm able to get up every morning and do what I really, really love to do, my God-given talent, which is the art of flow, right? And talk with my peoples and then connect with other creative peoples. I mean, I'll say it again. Your boy is good over here. And we're just getting started. 2022, I think, it's going to be our year. As good as these years have been, I think 2022 is going to be even better for the city and for our little project here. So I appreciate all my patrons out there, all the choppers. I appreciate it a lot. I do. And I mean, what was it? A year after a move? Shit, I'm going live from the Republican National Convention with Donald Trump as a nominee. I had to be there, giving you exclusive coverage, keeping it real with you. I mean, sometimes you forget these things because it's not that I'm humble, because it's not that. I just kind of focus on what's next. And sometimes I even forget about that. Live, nobody else in the city was doing that. No other podcaster did that. Open the doors. I hear it all the time from people that do podcasts and live streams like, Nate, you set an example, bro. I already know, but I don't think about it that way. And I remember I don't know if I was going to get arrested, but I almost got dragged off of the floor of the Gund Arena Is that what it was? I don't know if it was the Gund Arena, but wherever the Cavaliers played, because Donald Trump was on the stage and he was saying the dumbest shit ever, and your boy kept it 100 in a room full of Donald Trump supporters. This little guy right here, keeping it real, giving you exclusive coverage. So it just speaks to what you can accomplish when you don't give up. I never give up. I don't. I'm not built like that. Especially when I can see the tunnel and I can see that light at the end of the tunnel. I can see it, and we're getting closer to it every single day. So for my supporters, I appreciate you. It means everything to my patrons, the people that share this show, and I mean, I get help. I get help on so many different levels that we never even talk about in terms of all kinds of stuff, guests, sponsors, all kind of shit, man. So I got to shout all those people out because they help. Nobody does anything by themselves. They help with this little project, and we're just getting started. COVID slowed some things down a little bit, as in rightly so, but now COVID still an issue. It's sort of waning a little bit. So now it's trying to get back to the plan. Trying to get back to the plan. So I appreciate each and every one of you. And we're just getting started. Shout out to the Inquirer. They did a nice piece on us early in the year, full page. I mean, here I am with a little podcast. I'm on the front page of the Inquirer. It just speaks to, real recognize real. The people can see. And I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. I'm exactly where I want to be. I'm exactly where God wants me to be. I'm 100% convinced of that. No doubt about it. And some people might be slow to recognize what he's doing and recognize the choppers. That's okay. That's okay. They can do what they want to do. But how's it go? What God has for you, no man can take. I'm living proof of that. 100%. 100%. So I just want to say that I appreciate the wifey and I are looking to have a really good time. I want to be there and recognize the other awardees and recognize the good work of the NAACP, because that's why I rock with them, because I sat back and was like, who's doing something for our people? I see the NAACP. And as I keep telling you, if you out here doing something for our community, you already got my support. And I demonstrate that every single day. People can say whatever they want to say. When you know who you are, you can't be shaken. No matter what somebody thinks or what they say, just keep doing you. I'm living proof of it. Living proof. We are pioneers in the city of Cincinnati. I don't care what nobody says, and many people will never say that. But what we have built over the last 4 years together, other people want that. They're going to follow our footsteps. We did it first in the city of Cincinnati. Maybe not the country, but we did it first. We're doing it first. All of us. I just happen to be the host. But we're doing it first, right? And that's just the real of it. And I'm not the kind of person to not tell you I told you so. But we are just getting started. I keep telling you that. We're just getting started. So I'm very excited about what the rest of whatever this is going to be. And I'm exactly where I want to be. So all the people that's like, Nate, we wish you on the radio. I'm not opposed to it, but I'll say it again. If you ever hear me back on the radio, you better believe I'm getting paid. You better believe it. You better believe they coming through. If it's not monetarily, then there's something else in it that I'm getting something out of. Because I don't care what the platform is. I will never I'd rather stop doing media altogether and go into a whole new line of work before I allow somebody else to profit off of what I do more than I do. It'll never happen again. I'd rather be dead, period. And believe me, I've had some opportunities, but when you know your worth, nobody can can lowball you. I've had conversations with people here and there. They want to lowball you. Okay, bruh, holla. You don't know who you're talking to. I know my worth. And when you know your worth, you won't settle for anything less than that. So don't let that number up there fool you. Don't let that fool you. Don't let those plays on Facebook fool you. Our reach is much farther than people might think it is. And I've heard people over the years say little things. People can say what they want to say, right? But I ain't going nowhere until we accomplish our goals. And after that, I got to stay and make sure that what we build stays in place. And get ready. That's all I can say. I ain't going nowhere, period. All right. 513-873-71. I'm just too blessed to be stressed. I'm telling you, no one man should have all this fun. I'm having way too much fun. I'm having way too much fun. This should be against the law. It really should be, but I'm gonna enjoy it. And that's all I can say to you. So shout out to the NAACP. I don't really wax like that from time to time because I just think about the next thing. But yeah, got on the Roland Martin show, just hustling, just making things happen, just connecting with folks and letting folks know what we have here in the city of Cincinnati. And we just getting started. People might think they know where we're going, but they have no idea. Trust me. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. And I appreciate all of the choppers, all my sponsors, all the people that share this show and talk about this show and recommend this show. I mean, I can't do it without you. Cannot do it without you. I'm just a host. I'm the captain of this. No doubt. I'm a captain us. I'm the quarterback. I'm a quarterback us straight to the Super Bowl, right? But I can't do it without you. And then again, I'm blessed to work with a lot of smart, creative Black folks, super talented, to have voices, and looking to work with more. All right, let me go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivey. This is your West Side Connection. Drop Squad 52, also known as the Black, not Democrat. And the cool train, whoop, whoop, is moving full steam ahead. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right, as well as can be expected.
All right. Well, Mr. Ivey, you haven't played my walk-up music in a while. I think I would like to put in a request.
You want me to play the Coon Train?
I already told you I'm embracing it, bro. Play it.
I don't have I don't have it in my system right now. I took it out.
Okay.
I feel some kind of way about referring to Black people as coons, but
well, hey,
I'll put it
you
back
played
in,
it.
since
you
requested
started it,
bro. I'll put it back in.
You started it. You played it for Glenn the other day.
I did.
Okay. Well, anyway, Mr. Ivey, I'm loving
about a month or so ago, maybe a couple months back.
Oh, okay. All right. It's your show. And like you said, Mr. Ivey, your energy today is off the charts. And I have been part of this journey since April 2018 when I got banned from YouTube and I was looking for somewhere to go. And I typed in on Spreaker, in the search engine, I typed in Black Republican, and guess who popped up? The Nathan Ivey Show. And the rest is history. Well, Mr. Ivey, the reason I called, sir, is I posted a clip of President Obama when he was on the stump campaigning for Terry McAuliffe in Virginia, who is sweating bullets with about 5 days to go before the election. And what I posted was a part of his stump speech where he was explaining to the Virginia voters that it's hard. It's hard to do this. It's hard to pass legislation. It's hard to overturn years and years of this and that. So I posted that clip on another guy that I follow on his Twitter feed as a response. I posted it at 2 p.m. October 25th, Mr. Ivey. Right now, I'm looking right now. This short clip of Obama with his up here whining, talking about, oh, it's hard, we can't do stuff. And what he was really saying, Mr. Ivey, he was trying to explain to the people of Virginia who aren't happy with the Biden administration. He's doing the same thing he did when he was president and Biden was his vice president. But anyway, Mr. Ivey, right now, that clip has 3,805 views, sir. And I don't even want to tell you how many impressions it has. Okay, so, and if you read the responses, and most of the responses, Mr. Ivey, they're from Black people, Mr. Ivey, and they're saying, we are tired of this same old BS coming from Obama again with this, oh, it's hard, oh, we can't do this. And there were a number of people that bought up DACA. They bought up the stuff that Obama did for Israel. they brought up stuff that Obama did for the Muslims. He took care of Muslims, Jews, Hispanics, and the black people in this in this Twitter feed, Mr. Ivey, of the 3,805 views, Mr. Ivey, you know that is huge. So just with my little Twitter account, the Black Not Democrat Twitter account, when I post a clip of the first black president, and he on stage making excuses for a white candidate for the Democrat Party, that, oh, it's hard to govern. And then at the end, he said, but we can make it better. So again, Mr. Ivey, I know you probably won't play the clip, but the clip is out there of Obama basically telling black voters in Virginia, shut up and just go vote. We don't want to hear nothing about your complaining because this is hard. We've been trying to do this since 1964. So y'all got to be patient for another 60 years. So anyway, Mr. Ivey.
Hold on before you roll, bro.
Black
I'm on your page right now. You are funny, man. Gonna put y'all back in chains. You are hilarious. Well, number one, bro, I told you before, I would not be surprised if what you're doing takes off. You said you got 3,000 views on here?
Mr. Ivey, you know, when I had the Drop Squad 52 Twitter account, which has been suspended permanently,
good.
I was strategic in what I did. Mm-hmm. And now, as the Black Not Democrat Twitter account, I'm posting some of the similar things with the same type of rhetoric, and it's not being flagged. Nothing is happening. So okay. I don't know if they changed the algorithms or I've just gotten better on how I traffic on Twitter. But Mr. Ivey, I know how to attach the right hashtag with things. Right. But in this case, I didn't really attach too many different hashtags other than the ones that are already out there. And maybe it was because of the guy's Twitter feed that I put it on. But I put stuff on his Twitter feed before. But nothing got this kind of response, Mr. Ivey, from a clip from a campaign rally. 3,805 views, Mr. Ivey.
Can I play it real quick?
And I'm telling you, huh?
You mind if I play it real quick? I'm
I don't care.
What everybody's talking about. Hold on, let me see if I can.
What kind of colored man are you? We can't afford to be tired because of these young people right here and the young people that are coming. What kind of colored man are you? And it's hard. And Terry doesn't claim that by being governor suddenly every problem is going to be solved. What kind of colored man are you? I didn't solve every problem when I was president. I mean, the fact is that it's hard to undo the legacy of discrimination that goes back centuries. It's hard to deal with special interests who want to keep the status quo when you're trying to make the economy more fair and more just. It's hard in a big country like this where people disagree a lot to get everybody moving in the same direction. But here's the thing, we can make it better. What kind of colored man are you?
You know, again, oh my gosh. This is what we doing out here now, bro?
Mr. Ivey, I'm
just
telling you.
This is what we doing?
Mr. Ivey, I'm just telling you, Mr. Ivey, you already know how I roll, so don't be surprised at how I edit and how I do the voiceover.
It's entertaining.
Because you already know. Huh?
I mean, I give you props. It's entertaining, man. I can see why people are clicking on it and being engaged by it and things like that. But
yeah, but it's the comments, though, Mr. Ivey.
That was wrong, though.
I'm not, Mr. Ivey. Again, all I did, the reason I played that portion of the clip is because he's making more excuses for the Democrats. Because, okay, here's the first example of why I think this clip offended so many black people. Is because the $1.9 trillion bipartisan bill has been sitting there since August, Mr. Ivey. And this is what people are like, well, wait a minute, pass it. It's got money in it that's going to be coming to the people to benefit them, whether it be through jobs or whatever. And this is what they're seeing, Mr. Ivey. They're like, wait a minute, this don't make no sense. So again, when he comes up there and Obama doesn't speak on the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. He doesn't appear on Black podcasts. But when it's time to elect another lying, desperate Democrat, he shows up and he does the magic act. And this is why I think the comments related to the clip, it's about what Obama is saying, the first Black president, because it's a reflection of his 4 years, because it's the same vice president. And the vice president then is president now, and he's doing the same things. And then you got the president coming and co-signing. So again, Mr. Ivey, all I'm telling you is it's the responses from Black people in the Twitter feed. And I read it and I'm like, this is a barometer. It's almost like I did my own little poll. Because Mr. Ivey, on any platform, 3,000 people actually viewed. They didn't just scroll through it and let the audio play. They actually clicked on it and listened to the entire thing. So all I'm saying, Mr. Ivey, Terry McAuliffe could win next week. But the fact that all these things are happening in these blue Democrat states where Biden won just 10 months ago, I'm telling you, and the way that they're handling this legislation, Mr. Ivey, and there's word this morning that they're not going to get the deal done before the president goes overseas. And the part of the deal that they're so worried about is over climate change. And again, Black people like climate change. Are you serious? How about passing the child tax credit and making the child tax credit permanent? Because the child tax credit that Biden is running around touting comes from the 2017 Trump tax law, which obviously is due to expire in 2022. But again, Mr. Ivey, that's all I got, sir. I thank you. I appreciate you playing the clip so everybody can recognize my Twitter experience skills, because I got some stuff. If you want to find out, just follow the Black Not Democrat on Twitter. So that's all I got, Mr. Ivey. You keep up that energy, brother. You keep it up, because it's not how you start. It's how you finish.
Absolutely.
Drop Squad 52, dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace.
Dear God. Dear God.
It only takes a little bit of white brainwash to activate the coon chip.
You talking about that one? Because you said coon train. That was another clip I took out. And then I realized, like, you deserve that. Dear Lord. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Oh my gosh. But again, looking at the clock, is about that time. I'm scheduling a phone call from a rep from the Cincinnati Police Department to talk about their recruitment efforts. And we got a call on the line right now. So let's go straight to it. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivey. This is Officer Hughley from Cincinnati Police Department.
Officer Hughley?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing, sir? Welcome to the show.
I'm fine. Thanks for having me.
And I want to put your name on the screen. Can you just spell that for me, please?
It's Ronnie. The last name is Hugley.
Hugley. Got you. All right. Thank you so much, Officer Hughley, for coming on and talking about what's going on with the Cincinnati Police Department. You said Hugley. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Got you good. But thank you so much. So what's going on? We're talking about recruitment efforts with the Cincinnati Police Department?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So tell us, what's the opportunity? What's going on? How can people take advantage of it?
So we're looking for energetic, intelligent young people of any age, really, as long as you're 20 years old and would turn 21 before you graduate the police academy. We have no ceiling on our age limit. If you feel you're a little older and you still have the energy to give the job a try, then we'll take you there too. Our academy is a 28-week-long academy, and it's very rigorous. The sign-up period for the registration ends on the 31st of this month. So if you still have the thoughts about signing up, you need to sign up now. There's no obligation to sign up. If you decide you don't want to come and take the exam, then you just don't show up. We won't come looking for you.
So you're saying that the 31st of this month is the last day to sign up?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we just got a few days here. Okay. And I'm going to follow up, and hopefully there's a flyer out there that I can put out on social media so people can be a part of it. So So tell us about the compensation because I know a lot of Cincinnati police officers. I got family on the Cincinnati police force. I regard being a police officer as with a lot of respect. I think it's a critical job. And then beyond that, I think what gets lost is people don't understand how you can build toward retirement. So tell us what's the pay? How much you get paid as a recruit? Does the pay bump up once you become a police officer? And then tell us about some of the benefits.
So starting out as a police recruit, you would make $38,353 and some change, and so it's very minimal pay. But you're at that point you're just a student in an academy setting, just like being a college student, but you're getting paid because you become a city employee. As that city employee, your benefits kick in right away. So you'll have health care, dental, and vision insurance from your first day as a police recruit. Once you graduate at the end of the 28 weeks and are put into a district assignment of the 5 districts, your pay scale moves up to $65,867. And eventually you could top out at $80,355, which is still minimal because that doesn't even include overtime and some other things that could impact that. So you could easily top $100,000 if you're aggressive.
Okay. And again, the requirements are that you have to have a high school diploma or a
High school
GED.
diploma or GED equivalent. Some colleges is helpful. It's not mandatory. Obviously, the degrees help in certain aspects, and you have to have at least a valid driver's license. It doesn't have to be an Ohio driver's license as long as it's valid.
So if I'm Officer Hughley, if I'm and thank you for your time this morning. If I'm a college graduate, do I make more money walking in the door than someone who just has a high school diploma?
No, you won't.
Okay, we
No,
all
you
make the
won't.
same.
No, you won't. It's there is no benefit there. The only benefit there is later on down the line when certain jobs come up, certain assignments that may come up that may require you to have a college degree.
Okay. And would those certain assignments maybe pay me more because I have a college degree, or maybe they're specialized or something like that?
No, it wouldn't pay you more, but it may help you get in the door.
Help you in the door. Okay.
And if you were looking to later say maybe go into the FBI or the CIA or DEA or some of those exotic type of departments, most of them require you to have local law enforcement experience and some college degrees. So that's where those degrees would help you out for the most part.
And there currently is, and correct me if I'm wrong, is there you spoke about this earlier, but I want to make sure I clarify. Is there an age limit in terms or ceiling in terms of becoming a recruit?
Currently, we do not have a ceiling. We have a recruit in the academy now that's 56 years old.
Right.
We do accept military experience, veterans of the military. When they take the written exam, they're credited 5 additional points for their military service and 10 additional points if they are a disabled vet.
Okay. I like that because I think, with age, in some cases, you can get maturity. And that's a tough job. You're making life to self decisions. You're making decisions that impact the police department, the way that people will view the police department. And so having somebody that's got maybe some life experience under their belt, maybe in another field of work, I think can only be a good thing. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, go right ahead. You got all the knowledge. I want to make sure
So-
people hear from you.
So when it pertains to that age, the age ceiling or the more mature applicant, they do have to realize too that going through the academy is very rigorous, very strenuous, and is very hard on the body. So we hope any more mature applicant that applies has a good physical regimen going on, because this job's going to be hard on the knees. It's going to be hard on the back. It's going to be hard on on your heart. There's a lot going on in the academy, a lot of grappling, wrestling techniques, and different things. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be very stressful on the body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think most little boys, they want to be police officers or work in law enforcement. My son is 6 right now, and he wants to be a police officer. When he's playing with his toys, he's always a police officer, taking people to jail and things like that. And then I'm the kind of person that just likes to learn, period. And I think that
Right.
would be so cool just to kind of learn that. So tell us about the academy experience. So when you talk about rigorous physical demands, what are they like? What are the tests that one would have to pass in order to become a Cincinnati police officer?
So coming in the door, just to get started, so you'd have to take 2 different types of physical ability components just to get yourself started. First of all, the initial process itself requires you to do push-ups, sit-ups, and a 300-meter sprint based on age and gender. If you get lucky enough to get selected later on down the line, to get in the door, you have to complete a psychological evaluation, a physical fitness exam with the city's physicians, and you would have to do a state-mandated PT test, which consists of push-ups, sit-ups, and a 1.5-mile run. Once you actually complete those components and are cleared, you would be seated in the academy for that 28 weeks. But from day one, the academy puts everything they have at you in terms of PT standards. There's a lot of cardio that comes with that. More so than strength training, there's more cardio involved, because once you strap on a gun belt that weighs, whatever it weighs, and a vest itself, that takes a lot out of you right there. And now you're doing push-ups, sit-ups, burpees, planks, cardio, and running, jumping, and you have all that extra weight on. So now you move from a normal lifestyle where you would go to a gym and just work out in your gym clothes, and now you're working out in maybe 25 more pounds of equipment.
How many push-ups and sit-ups do you have to? I'm just curious. All the details matter, but how many push-ups and sit-ups, and how fast do you have to run that mile in order to get through the academy?
Well, it's based on your age and gender. So now the same standard coming in the door, you have to do that. You have to demonstrate that again throughout the academy. But in order to graduate, you have to demonstrate that you can do that standard. And if you give me a particular age, and then I can give you some numbers.
Let's say we'll do 2 ages. Let's say somebody's 25, and let's say you also got a recruit that's older. Let's say they're 45. What would be the difference in the standards?
So if you were 25 years of age, just to get in the door, and I'm not going to give you this graduation standard, you would have to do 32 sit-ups and 19 push-ups.
Okay.
And that 1.5-mile run you would have to do in 14.34 seconds. I'm sorry, 14 minutes and 34 seconds.
For 1.5 miles? Okay. That seems doable. That don't seem too bad.
But see, that's a 15 percentile standard. That's just to get in the door. By the time you're ready to graduate to the state test, you would have to do that 1.5 miles in 11 minutes and 58 seconds.
Okay.
And the push-ups and sit-ups increase as well.
And
so
what would
you would
that be
have
for?
you would have to end up doing 33 push-ups and 40 sit-ups.
You got to do 33 straight without breaking your stance?
Correct.
Okay.
No break, no stop.
And what about somebody who's 45 years old? Like once they get to the state
45,
requirements?
the 15 percentile standard is 22 sit-ups, 10 push-ups, and 15 minutes and 58 seconds for the 1.5-mile run.
Okay.
But to graduate, that number goes from the 1.5 miles would be 13 minutes and 11 seconds, 21 push-ups, and 31 sit-ups.
I've got a thought in my head, but I want to ask you. And my question is, what's the number one reason why people don't make it through the academy?
Make it through the academy?
Yeah.
We rarely lose someone in the academy. Once you're actually selected and seated in the academy, the only thing that we've had that I could recall that someone didn't make it through the academy was safety issues.
Okay.
Other than that, we usually graduate most of our people.
Okay. So my thought was, I was wondering if the psychological test and maybe the background was.
Now, see, that's even before you get in the academy.
Oh, okay. So
we're talking the background phase at that point.
Oh,
of
okay.
People that.
So I asked the question wrong. So which part is where people get stuck the most? Is it the background phase or the academy? It sounds like it's the background phase.
It's either the background phase or the phase of the three components that would guarantee you a seat. So if you got selected today, if the chief selected you today to be one of 55 recruits in the academy, you would have to do a psychological evaluation, a medical, and that pre-physical fitness assessment consisting of the 15 percentile push-ups, sit-ups, and the mile-and-a-half run. We have lost people in that, which you get two opportunities for that PT. We've lost people there that could not complete one of those three components. You have to pass all three. We've lost people in medical evaluations, and we've lost people in the psychological evaluations. But prior to that, just going through the background phase and the initial testing, we lose people in things that they've done in their past that eliminates them. So there's a lot going on there.
We're speaking with Cincinnati Police Officer Hughley. We're talking about their recruitment efforts, and they're looking for new recruits right now. And the enrollment is open until the 31st, and to get your application in. So you got a few more days here until the end of the month. And again, we need good, smart, intelligent people. And in particular, as I always say, we need good, smart, intelligent people of color to be on our Cincinnati police force, to just be good agents from within. Because that's a very admirable job. It's a very difficult job. It's a crucial job in our community. And so we need good, strong people of good moral fiber, good, conscious, intelligent people that are in it for the right reasons to be on our Cincinnati police force to represent us, the city, and keep our communities as safe as possible. So more questions. So I'm curious, like, can I have anything on my record and still be a Cincinnati police officer? Like, what would bar me? Is it a felony? Is it a certain type of felonies? Can I have misdemeanors? Do you go back into my juvenile record? Like, how far do you get deep with a person's record? And what would stop me from being qualified as a recruit?
We go all the way back into your juvenile history. Felonies are an immediate no in terms of trying to go forward. We have what's called the RCIC system, which is our computer-based system, and there are certain crimes of violence and certain crimes of that involve weapons and certain things of that nature, domestic violence types of things that would prohibit you from carrying a weapon and or operating the computer system. So those types of things would eliminate you. DUI convictions, anything as current as 5 years, anything beyond that is probably acceptable, depending on how many there were. But felonies are a no, and certain misdemeanors would probably have an effect on that as well.
Wow. Somebody wants to know, Carolyn wants to know, will a weed ticket exclude me?
That's not going to hurt you. That's not going to hurt you.
That's not going to hurt you. Okay. But you're saying DUIs will. And is that because if you're a police officer, then you're going to be responsible for a cruiser and, traversing the streets behind the wheel? Is that the reason why, or is it about your character and your judgment, or both?
It's about the character. Obviously, you don't hire someone that's going to be enforcing laws that has 2 or 3 DUI convictions already. We have certain standards within the city's guidelines that prohibit a person from possibly being selected based on prior DUI convictions.
Right. What about child support? Let's say you got somebody who's had a history with not paying their child support. Either they didn't pay it or they're in and out of the jail system. Would that be something that would red flag them?
We do a credit check on all applicants to see how their credit standard is in terms of we wouldn't we kind of frown on hiring someone that's really in the rears of their child support, or that owes a whole lot of money and is a whole lot of garnishments, a whole lot of bankruptcies, person that's in financial ruin, and then you have them in a situation where they're around financial institutions, money, people with money. And we kind of look at that as, are their motives coming to the job for, the right reasons, or are they looking to, maybe be crooked, possibly? Be straightforward with you there.
Right. That's what I was going to ask you.
Child support is frowned upon depending on how much you owe. And I mean, if it's something that's being paid on a regular basis, and the chief decides that's something that he'll be okay with, that's fine. If it's something that's really deep, that a person is so far deep in the child support that they'll never get out, that might be a problem.
Oh, you said so the chief actually has a role in determining some of the recruits and whether they'll be accepted or not?
The chief makes the selections.
Oh, wow.
He views everything that we present to him, and he determines whether or not that person is going to be selected or not.
I didn't know that. It makes sense though. It makes sense on some levels. I mean, he's going to be responsible. So it does make sense. They would have some say so coming in the door. That's all very, very interesting. Very interesting.
When we talk about being a police officer, the job itself is a job of being a public servant. You're out there for the people, for the city you work for. The criminal part of it is maybe 15-20%. The rest of it is being a public servant in terms of being a counselor, a parent, a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, a coworker. People come at you with all types of problems, and it's not always because it's a bad guy or a bad girl involved. It's because people have problems and they need help. So they come to law enforcement for help. And if you come to this job thinking that, you're going to go out there with your gun strapped on and your badge, and you're going to, have your chest poked out, and you're going to be in for a big letdown, because that's not what policing is all about. And so we want to make sure that people who come to this job are coming in the door for the right reasons, and that is to help people.
Someone wants to know, have you always done a credit check, or is this something that you recently started?
We've always done credit checks.
Okay. I'm scanning the audience right now looking for more questions. Courtney wants to know, is there a physical requirement once to maintain, your job? Do police officers, Cincinnati police officers, have to go through like a physical test on once they become an officer, or is it just to become an officer?
No, we don't have a yearly standard. I think possibly the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office does, and maybe some other agencies, but we do not have that type of standard.
Right. I think the one thing I was recently, as of maybe like a month and a half ago, talking with a Cincinnati police officer who has started his own business, and he was talking to me about recruitment efforts in different ways and using social media and things like that. And he's like, Nate, people don't realize that, you can stack some chips as an officer, and that you got a decent, retirement, and then you can use that to maybe as an entrepreneur start your own business. So Officer Hughley, talk to us about, retirement. Talk about retirement benefits and just the benefits of being a police officer, and so how long do you have to be an officer to get retirement? And what does that mean exactly?
Well, 25 years and out is what you shoot for. There's a drop program, which is a second type of pension program. It's an extended service of your retirement. You can enter that program for a maximum of 8 more years, but you can opt out anytime you're ready. So after 25 years, and you get into that drop program, you can leave whenever you get ready. You don't have to stick around if you don't want to. If you end up in certain job assignments, some of those job assignments, the training that you get from those assignments can put you into greater things once you retire. And I'll use a few examples. We have polygraphers, the polygraph examiners. They go to school for about 4 to 5, well, let's say about 3 to 4 months, just to get trained in the proper way to use the polygraph equipment. Once they get that training, they are set for life pretty much, because they can retire from this job and market themselves out there for smaller companies that require their employees to have a polygraph examination. They use those individuals that are retirees to do that. We had an individual that used to be a polygrapher for the city who ended up working at the casino. He did polygraph exams for every employee at the casino. So he made all of that additional money on the side. Our traffic investigators that are trained reconstructionists, once you leave this job, you can be marketed out as a reconstructionist for insurance companies, attorneys that decide they need an expert to do this and that. So you're marketable there. Our financial crimes unit, those individuals that eventually leave there, they can get hired at banks for the financial aspect of investigating crimes in the banks and things like that. So there's a lot of marketable positions within the police department in terms of some of the specialized units that we have. And there are multiple specialized units that you can get into, but you would have to start out first on the patrol level to get there.
Speaking with Officer Ron Hughley about the Cincinnati police officers recruitment efforts, again, the application window ends on the 31st. So you can apply. And then, as I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, Officer Hughley, if you decide you don't want to show up after that, it's up to you. But at least you got your name, you got your foot in the door. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. So if you look at across the country, I'll use New York, for example, they charge you $45 to sit for their written exam to be a police officer. There is no charge, no obligation to sign up for our exam. You sign up, take the exam, and move on, or you sign up and decide it's not for you and you don't show up. So, and we don't come looking for you.
Right.
And we don't call you. We don't, email you. It's just the decision you made at this point in time.
Right. And the other thing we haven't talked about.
But at least signing up guarantees that you can be there.
That you can be there, right.
Yeah.
And the other thing we haven't talked about is that this is a union job. The FOP represents the employment, interest of all of the rank and file. Is that correct? And there's certain protections involved with that.
That's correct. We have two unions. We have the FOP, which represents all union members, all police officers that are members of the FOP. And we have the Sentinel Police Association, which is the Black Police Officers Association, which represents the minority group.
Right. Interesting. Carolyn wants to know, what made you want to become a police officer, and how long have you been on the force?
So, just like I said, I wanted to do this job to help people. I'm in my 31st year right now. I came on in 1990. I came from Detroit, Michigan for this job and never looked back. My prior work experience, I was a manager for McDonald's for 19 years and basically took that experience for being a manager because I managed people. Right. I dealt with people all day long, whether they were the employees or the customers. And when I got to this job and got out on the street and got my feet wet and making my first radio run or my first radio call, I felt a little more comfortable with dealing with the people and talking to them because that's what I did all the time. I mean, that was my normal routine. Then you got that small segment of the job, which is the bad guy, but as long as you're comfortable with talking to people, then and the job transfer was very easy for me.
Right.
So it's been 31 years. I have another 18 months before I leave. So hopefully I can do that here in recruiting and bring on some more great people.
Got some more interesting questions coming in. Some you might anticipate, some you may not have. Angela wants to know, are the police officers under a vaccination mandate or are you exempt?
Say that again now.
Are police officers or Cincinnati police officers under a vaccine mandate or are you exempt?
We are going through a slight, I don't want to say a legal battle. We are mandated as well. Let's put it that way.
You are mandated. Okay.
Yes.
Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Are there any requirements? Someone wants to know, as I understand it, there is no requirement in terms of where you have to live. So if you want to be a Cincinnati police officer, you don't have to live in Cincinnati. Is that correct?
That's correct. You can live in one of 4 Ohio counties: Butler County, Warren County, Claremont County, and Hamilton County. You could live in a couple of the Indiana counties. I can't remember the exact ones. Let's see. It actually is Franklin County, Kentucky, Campbell County, Kentucky, Kenton County, and Boone County in Kentucky, and then Dearborn County in Indiana. So you don't have to live in the city, in the Hamilton County portion of the city.
Right. Well, I'm just curious, and thank you for your time. I mean, I just got a couple more questions here. I could talk for another 30 minutes, which I think this is fascinating and very critical, but I'm just so curious because, according to like popular culture, they make certain jobs on the police force to seem like it's so glamorous, right? Like everybody wants to be a detective. So my question for you, Officer Hughley, is how does that work? Like once let's say I make it through the academy, I'm a new police officer. Do I choose my own destiny and my path? Do I choose do I choose SWAT? Do I choose being a detective? Do I choose traffic? Or are there tests that, depending on how I score, predetermine which path I should take? How does that work?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. Coming in the door from day one as a police recruit sets the tone for the reputation you're going to have throughout your career as a police officer. So once you have been an officer on a patrol beat for 3 years, if there is an opening, say there's an assignment availability opening for a SWAT officer, they have a few SWAT officers they need to replace. You will put in a form requesting consideration to try out for the SWAT team. There's a tryout involved in that. It involves everything: shooting, running, jumping, an obstacle course. There's a lot involved in that. And then there's an interview, and then there's a psychological that goes along with that as well. If you are selected, then you're selected. There you are. You have it. Other assignments require only an interview, depending on what kind of job assignment it is. If it's a K-9 position and you apply for that K-9 position, you have to do some kind of physical fitness things that involve the dog, lifting the dog over a fence, and some other things involved. But other job assignments that aren't physical in nature will just require an interview. So everything is available to you once you have spent at least 3 years on the street. So whether it be the drug investigator, homicide investigator, recruiter, K-9, horses when we had them, SWAT officer, district level investigator, intelligence officer, all of those things require you first get your feet wet on the street, and then you can move into one of those assignments only if there's an availability. You can't just put in for it. It has to be an availability first.
I'm just backing up here for a second. So when you're in the academy, what's the frequency of the classes? Am I in class every single day? Is it 5 days a week for those 28 weeks? How many
So
hours per day?
You're there. You do a 40-hour week. You're getting paid for 40 hours, so you're there 8 hours a day.
8 hours a day. Okay.
You get a lunch. It's a 9-hour day because you get your hour for lunch, and in order to get that hour back, that's why they have you there 9 hours instead of 8.
Okay.
The state mandates you have a full 8-hour day. The academy could consist of all physical fitness for one day, or it could be all classroom for one day, and it's Monday through Friday. Every now and then, they may have you come in on a Saturday or a Sunday just because of scheduling or the way something may have fallen in the scheduling, but usually it's Monday through Friday for the 8 hours a day.
And then once
you could have classroom, and then you break and have physical fitness stuff, and then the third half back into the classroom. It varies throughout the day.
Okay. And then once I become an officer, what's my day? Is it 40 hours a week? Do I choose my schedule? Is it first shift, second, third shift? How's that work?
So it's still 40-hour. It's still a 40-hour week. You still get a 40-hour week because you are still a city employee. It's a 10-hour workday. Once you are in a district assignment, they are on 10-hour shifts. When you graduate, you are given a district selection sheet. You pick from 1 to 5 what districts you would like to go to, and they basically put you where they have the biggest need for the greater need for officers. You may end up in District 3 on third shift. You might end up in District 2 on second shift. Rarely do new recruits go to first shift. It's usually second and third shift, and then after so long, then you move up to first shift. It's a seniority type of thing.
Okay. Very interesting. And just last couple of questions here. So how do you move up in rank? Is that something that you take a test for? Do your superior officers recommend you? And then what is that hierarchy? So what is the hierarchy? Is it recruit, sergeant, corporal, captain? I don't know. I'm just curious.
So promotional exams are just like preferred assignment promotions. You need to be on for at least 3 years before you can take a promotional exam. So somebody that's been on for 3 years can sit and take a sergeant's exam. So you go from police recruit to police officer to police sergeant to police lieutenant to police captain, and then possibly someday assistant chief or chief. But when you go from police officer to sergeant, you sit and take an exam, a city given written exam.
And so how strictly is that followed? Is it kind of like the military where, like, if a sergeant's in the room with a bunch of officers, they all defer to the sergeant, that's the most senior officer, and so on and so forth? Is that how that works?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
So just like anything else, in terms of a military type of setting, if you have issues, you go to your sergeant. You don't overstep them and go to the lieutenant or the captain. You go to your sergeant, your first line supervisor. And if that sergeant can't handle it, that sergeant will go to the lieutenant. And if that lieutenant can't handle it, then it'll go to the captain. And hopefully that doesn't go any further than that.
Okay. Well, Officer Hughley, I appreciate your time. I really do. Just one more time, can you tell people where they can apply and the deadlines involved?
So the deadline to apply is at the end of this month, October 31st at midnight. They can go to www.cincinnati-oh.gov/police to register to take the exam, or to register to be considered for the exam. There's going to be a second component where you'll get an email and you would select the date and time to take the exam. So just because you do that initial registration, that doesn't actually put you in the seat to take the exam. That just says you're interested in taking it.
Okay. Well, Officer Hughley, thank you so much for your time, sir, and I wish you a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, most def. That is fascinating. All that is very fascinating. Hopefully we pick something up. And hopefully there might be some people out there that are interested in becoming Cincinnati police officers, or maybe you know someone. So I'm going to look for a flyer and I'll put that out on the friends page and on my social media. And if you see it and you feel inclined to do so, just please share. Just please share, because I said, and I stand by what I said. I mean, that is a very critical job. It is critical. And we need good, smart, intelligent people in general. And for our audience, specifically, we need good, smart, intelligent people of color, Black people, brown people, melanated people with good, strong heart, right? Getting into it for the right reasons that are going to help keep our streets safe and negotiate all of the stuff that police officers have to deal with on a daily basis. So I just really wanted to just try to approach it from getting as much information about the experience as possible. And I might even take this as a snippet and put it out there by itself, so it can be used as a promotional vehicle and people can just learn more about what it means to be a Cincinnati police officer. That might be the thing for you. Stack some chips. You in and out in 25 years, going with the rest of your life. And you got guaranteed money coming in. You know what I'm saying? Do what you want to do. Start your own, a whole new life. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to be thinking about retirement and building wealth. Why not that? There's a lot worse ways you can make you some money. Believe me. And as I said, we all know we definitely need good, strong, intelligent people to do that job. So with that, I'm going to push away just for a few minutes. And you hear some folks who are running for local elections on various levels. Give them your ear and consideration. Remember, these are not personal endorsements. These are advertisements. Take them for what they are. And we'll come right back. Don't forget, early voting ends on Monday, November the 1st. And of course, you can vote on Election Day, which is Tuesday, November the 2nd. So, we've been talking about this, it seems like forever, right? Since last year, really, literally, we have. And especially with the mayoral primary. But now here it is. We're going to find out who's going to be the mayor, who's going to be on city council, who is going to be on the school board. And I've got some more interviews set up for Friday and tomorrow as well. So make sure you stick around for that. I'm Nathan Ivey. I'm live, I'm local, and I'm vocal. And we'll be right back.
Good morning, Choppers. I'm Scotty Johnson, candidate for Cincinnati City Council. Unfortunately, injustice remains in the city of Cincinnati. A remedy for injustice is courageous, bold leadership. I plan on bringing that type of leadership to City Hall. It's time to stop talking about it and to start doing something about it. Disparities have been in Cincinnati far too long. I'm the candidate to address those disparities. Vote Scotty Johnson for Cincinnati City Council.
Paid for by friends of Scotty Johnson.
I'm former Mayor Dwight Tillery asking you to vote for my friend, Michelle Dillingham, who is a Democrat running for Cincinnati City Council. The Black population in our city has declined, pushing Black homeowners out, while speculators purchase their houses for pennies on the dollar. Black people are being foreclosed on because of rigged housing and economic systems.
Michelle Dillingham will fight for you. This is Victoria Strong. You know me, Sister V. City Council prefers investing in a soccer stadium and gentrifying our historic neighborhoods. Malcolm X said that if you don't own land, you're nothing but a squatter.
Come on, Michelle, talk to the people.
City Council is being sued for discriminatory tax abatement programs that unfairly enrich wealthy white neighborhoods. I know because I've been fighting for reform for years. Isn't it time to elect a candidate who will stand up for the people over special interests? Vote for me, Michelle Dillingham, Democrat for Cincinnati City Council.
Paid for by Dillingham for Council Committee.
Wish I could vote.
Why?
I would vote for Elizabeth Tye for judge. She has 18 years of experience as a prosecutor and defense attorney. Elizabeth Tye is strong, compassionate, and will be fair. She's someone I look up to.
Elizabeth Tye is a good choice.
Vote for Elizabeth Ty for judge.
TYE, that's the judge for me. I'm attorney Elizabeth Ty, and I'm asking for your vote for municipal court judge on November 2nd.
Paid for by the committee to elect Democrat Elizabeth Todd for municipal judge.
Hi, this is County Commissioner Alicia Reese, and I'm supporting Reggie Harris for Cincinnati City Council. Not only did Reggie support me in my tough election last year, but we walked the streets of Cincinnati together to deliver food and help citizens in this pandemic. Reggie Harris knows what it means to help people in these tough times, and as a former vice mayor, I know how important it is to have good leaders at City Hall. That's why I'm asking you to join with me in voting for Reggie Harris for City Council.
Paid for by friends of Reggie Harris.
This is Hamilton County Commissioner Alicia Reese, and I've been busy fighting.
I'm Scotty Johnson, candidate for Cincinnati City Council. Unfortunately, injustice remains in the city of Cincinnati. A remedy for injustice is courageous, bold leadership. I plan on bringing that type of leadership to City Hall. It's time to stop talking about it and to start doing something about it. Disparities have been in Cincinnati far too long. I'm the candidate to address those disparities. Vote Scotty Johnson for Cincinnati City Council.
Can't sleep.
It's hard to pay attention in school.
I say mean things.
I keep getting in trouble.
I bully other kids.
I'm just scared.
No one sees my pain.
Sometimes I want to die.
So many of our children are facing trauma, but instead of seeing their pain and fear, we're labeling them bad, troubled, delinquent, or criminal. Let's look beyond their behaviors. Let's get them the help they need by helping them address the trauma they're facing.
Help me feel safe.
See me for more than my behaviors.
Understand that my actions are how I communicate my fears.
For more information, visit www.ohiostateofemergency.com. That's ohiostateofemergency.com.
My guest, Officer Hughley, Officer Ron Hughley, for coming in, dropping some knowledge. Again, that could be a real opportunity for somebody out there. I 100% mean that. I am not joking. That could be the difference between, starting your own thing, buying you some land. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? You gonna have to make money somehow, some way. Think about it. And again, the deadline is the 31st. And when I get a flyer, I'll share it with everybody and put it out there. And then also reiterate what the website is. Share it with your peoples in them. You never know. Could be the spot for them. 513-873-7134 if you want to share your thoughts this morning. And so far, we've been talking about, I got numerous things to talk about. Primarily, we've talked about Condi Rice. Is she a foot soldier for white supremacy? That's what the brother Torre said. He wrote a piece in the Griot, and I linked it for you. So scroll back, and you can check it out, saying that after her appearance on The View, in which she said that part of her problem with critical race theory is the fact that, white kids shouldn't be made to feel bad and that black kids shouldn't be made to feel less than. And I'm like, WTF? Me, real is real, whatever the truth is. If America was bold enough to do whatever America did, then we should be bold enough to teach kids in school what America did. It's real simple. I don't see no problems with it. And if white kids feel some kind of way, they should. I bet they don't feel the same way Emmett Till mama felt. I bet that. I bet they don't feel as bad as Emmett Till mamas felt. I bet they don't feel as bad as the people who had to clean up the ashes and the rubble in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. So miss me with all that feelings kind of stuff. Please stop it. And I don't believe for 1 minute that black kids are going to feel bad and get punked out because we teach them the truth about America's legacy of white supremacy and racism. That didn't do that to me when I was a kid. When I learned about it, I got mad. That shit made me mad as hell. It made me want to be on some black excellence type of stuff to achieve, right? Oh, y'all, this is what you did to my people and them back in the day? So I'm going to show you what we're going to do now. And I think that's what it's really all about. That's what I think. I think there are people out there that don't want to expand the knowledge base of what this country has done to melanated people because they know it's going to put a battery in the back of these young folks out here. They're going to go out here and build and build and build. That's what I think personally, because I didn't feel that way. I remember reading Jet Magazine. I saw Emmett Till and read about it. I'm like, what is this, Granny? And they told me, I'm like, they did what I got, man. I was pissed for a long time. A long, long time. It just energized me. Oh, you don't want me to go to college? I'm definitely going to college. Oh, you want me to marry a black woman? I'm definitely going to marry a black woman. You don't want me to succeed? I'm definitely going to try to succeed, right? That's how I look at it. But I'm sure you feel the same way on some levels, or maybe you don't. 513-873-7134. I think we have a call on the line. Yeah, I think we do. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Nathan.
Hey. Good morning, Maze.
Drop, got my umbrella up again. Now he's a clout chaser with those 3,000 people. Them clip, clout chasing and clip. What he be doing? Making money. I guess that's just some income with them 3,000 people and the little clip he gave you to play. That's how the clout chasers do, and they make money off of it. They go to people's shows, clip little stuff, and then put it out there for their little 3,000 people. But I know of a site that got 18 million people in it. That's not clout chasing, and they're real serious people about what's happening in this country. And then he was discussing about what Obama was doing over in Virginia. He did the same thing out there where he lives, and that governor is still sitting in that seat. And he had nothing to say about these people that's trying to keep him from voting and not voting at all with the party that he followed. And what Condoleezza Rice had to say about kids and what they shouldn't do to make them change. I was saying, well, she talked about the Birmingham church and the girls that was in that church, and she discussed that all the time. I said, Condoleezza wasn't thinking about what she was saying. She was just trying to get up somewhere, move up the ladder or something, and where she already been stuck. That didn't make no sense what she said that day. Because it's not the children that don't want to learn, it's the people that still living here, living old enough to do things back in the day that was done, that they don't want their children to see what they did. Because they go up in them closets, pull some of them grandpas and grandmas out, and let them tell their story, and they still got the same feeling. That's why we saw what happened in that Capitol. And it had nothing to do about shame. Because if that's not enough to shame the country, nothing else can be. Because that's not the first time something like that happened. So they will repeat the history. If you stand back and listen and you won't know anything, or it happened like drop. He don't understand what's going on. He's trying to make money and getting thrown off from panels in different places. That's his problem. So he'll grow up one day. But you need to know when he come on, when he come in, not the coon train, what kind of black man are you? Or colored man are you when he come on with the rhetoric that comes out his throat? With that, I gotta go. Umbrella's still up. Have a good one.
She said, umbrella's still up. Okay. So she's like, Drop, you playing not the coon train. We need to play the clip that Drop was using on Obama. What kind of black man are you? I'm not going to touch it. I'll leave it like that. I'll leave it just like that. I'll tell you what I will touch, though. I want to move on. I want to get your thoughts about trans people, because we've been talking a lot about Dave Chappelle and all that kind of stuff. And there's a clip that I saw this morning. And let me set this clip up for you. And there is some extreme language in it, but it's 9:20, and your kids should be at school right now. If they're not, they're juvenile delinquents, and they're cussing and doing all kind of stuff anyway. So this ain't going to bother them. Get your ass to school. All right. It's adult time. Okay. So this is a clip of what appears to be a trans woman born a man, but now living as a woman. And this person goes into, I don't know if it's a Popeyes. I think it's a Popeyes chicken place, and feels as if they are disrespected. Okay. The clip's about 2 minutes long. I'm not going to play it in its entirety. I'll probably break it up with a little bit of flow and then come back in out. But the transgender woman is very upset because she feels as if she's been disrespected by one of the employees. Are you ready? You want to see this? And my question for you is, should we refer to trans people the way that they say they want to be referred to? And I've heard people say this, right? They'll be talking about trans people, and let's say a transgender woman born a man, and they'll say, that ain't no woman, that's a man. I'm gonna refer to her as a man. God made you a man. And I've had some strong opinions about that over the years, but I want to get your thoughts about it. So I'm going to play this. And again, there is extreme language in this. And tell me what you think. Check this out.
Every single day, you guys, and this is what I complain about all the time. Look,
What's his name? What's your name?
My name's
Alex?
Tommy.
Yeah, your name's Alex, and I'm gonna be talking to your manager. This guy called me sir. This happens every fucking day. Everywhere I go, I get called sir. I'm so fucking tired. Why would you call a chick big ass tits? Fucking. Why would you call?
I didn't say.
No, stop trying to gaslight trans people and tell us that we're crazy. Crazy. You need to fucking be mindful of other people and stop being a fucking scumbag. And you're a liar. I heard you. Stop fucking gaslighting trans people. Wait, what? Did you call me sir again? What was that? You said goodnight, sir? Alex, I'm gonna be talking to corporate about you, you motherfucker. Fuck you. Okay? That's bullshit. You don't fucking harass trans people at work. Yeah, you did. And I'm walking out and you're like, have a good night, sir? What the fuck is that? No, you don't fucking do this to trans people. This is discrimination. No, this is discrimination. I'm fucking done with it. No, I'm gonna talk to corporate about this. You don't harass trans people. Hey, you know, it's one of the stupid things when you're catching Karens.
I didn't even say nothing.
You call me sir, and you're talking shit, calling me sir on the way out. This is transphobic harassment. You're a fucking bigot at work. All right, Alex, you know what? I can't wait to just. He admits twice calling me sir. No, he lied about the first one. No, you called me sir twice. Twice. Yeah, but you shouldn't be fucking harassing people with slurs. It's a slur. Do you not understand? It's like if you call the person a color the N-word. Don't fucking. You did on the way out. I don't care. I have the right to be pissed about it. You fucking did.
I said I'll lock the door.
You fucking did, you liar. And I'm gonna hold you accountable. Cis people need to be held accountable for how they treat trans people. And I'm not gonna put up with this shit anymore.
You're crazy, bro.
You're a fucking. Don't call me fucking bro. Stop fucking throwing slurs at me, you fucking piece of shit. No, fuck you. I ain't your sis. I ain't your fucking bro. You don't even fucking know me. Oh, you want to flash gang signs at me? All right. Yeah, fuck your ass. Oh, you want to talk about sucking dick now? Why is it that you fucking weird cis people are so obsessed with sex? You have fucking discrimination going on, and your brain goes to fucking dick sucking. Don't fucking call me sir. This is transphobia. Right here at the top. Yeah, you know, you heard blasphemy, motherfucker. Fuck you.
Wow. Woo, there was a whole lot there. So I might end up playing it a little bit more of it again. I thought I would jump in, but it was so juicy. I had to let that roll. Who's right? Who's wrong? And I got to break this down on the multiple levels. So, I don't even know where to start. So my question for you is, should we, non-transgender people, refer to transgenders in the way that they want to be referred to? And I've heard a lot of people do this. I've heard people do this on various levels. They'll be talking about a transgender situation or a transgender person as a part of the situation, and they'll refer to them as their biological gender and not the gender that they choose to be now. Let me give you my thoughts about this off the top. Me personally, I refer to people however the hell you want to be referred to. If you want to be referred to as her, I refer to you as her. If you want to refer to as him, I refer to you as him. It is no sweat off of me. It is no extra anything whatsoever for me to give somebody the respect that I want for myself, right? Because I want you to refer to me as his and him, because that's what I choose. And it's not about what God made me. It's about what I choose to project and who I choose to be, period. To me, it's no big deal. If you were born biologically a man and living as a woman and you want to be referred to as a woman, then that's easy. That's easy for me. But I've heard people, black people, do this. Like, nah, I'm going to refer to you the way that God made you, as if you're God. You ain't God. So that's a separate issue. Now, I don't know whether this Popeyes employee did or did not say sir, but there is a clue or a cue at the very end in which he says, "Get out of here, bro." So he's swearing up and down, I didn't say sir. And then and again, for trans people, that appears to be disrespectful. It don't matter what I think. For trans people, it appears to be disrespectful. So why are we out here disrespecting people? Because we think it's funny? There's some people that do that. I don't do those kind of games. I give people respect, and hopefully get the same energy back. You know what I'm saying? But I want to know what you think about it. Should we refer to trans people the way that they say they want to be referred to? And this might be challenging because there might even be people in the audience who over the years when we had this conversation was like, nah, screw that, you really a man, or screw that, you really a woman. But isn't that disrespectful? I think it's disrespectful. In this case right here, I think that employee should be considered for termination. I think the employee was way out of bounds. Talking about sucking this and F you, bro. You at work. You are at work with a Popeyes uniform on. You represent this whole corporation. And you talking like this. I don't care what the customer said. I'm also wondering, where is the manager? They either have an absent manager or a weak manager, because if I'm the manager, it never even goes that far. I'm going to grab my employee, go to the back, and then I'm going to talk with you. But this dude is talking about sucking this. How you do that with a uniform on? How you do that? I don't care what they said. When you're on the job, in my opinion, you have a greater responsibility than does an employee that just walked in the door. That's just me. Like I said, everybody got different standards. That would be my standards. Yo, I know what they said, but you out of line because you got a uniform on. That's as if Popeye's chicken was saying that. And if I'm a manager and somebody transgender come in and they if you don't know, then just go neutral with it, because it could be disrespectful to transgender people. But this is just me. Now, we've been talking about the LGBTQ community for a couple weeks now with Dave Chappelle, but I want to get your thoughts. Sean writes, bro is a common reference to people by millennials. Is that right? Greg writes, Popeye's employees are probably paid too low to put up with all of that. Not that it excuses the rudeness, but I understand it. I do not understand it. I don't give a damn where you work. I don't care where you work. You working for somebody else? You got a uniform on? You supposed to come up with it. You got to conduct yourself in a better way. I bet you during the interview process, if they played like a little Q&A and put you in different scenarios and they ask you what you would do, I guarantee you that same Popeyes employee would not respond. I'm going to cuss them out and ask them, do they suck D? I guarantee they wouldn't say that because they wouldn't get the job. So no, Greg, that's unacceptable when you are an employee, in my opinion. And if I was a manager, that person would probably have to go because you weak-minded. That's you too weak on the front line. You on the register? Yeah, sometimes people, the public's going to say some F shit. Sometimes people going to get irate. Just stay cool with it. He didn't have to say all of that. Yo, bro, you representing us. And then I don't know if Popeye's Chicken is teaching their employees on how to deal with transgender individuals. I think there's a way you deal with people. But again, my question is, should we, by we I mean the general we and also the audience, should we refer to trans people the way they want to be referred to? If you're dealing with somebody that's trans and they were born a man but now living as a woman, there was somebody, I remember many years ago when I was in commercial radio, there was a transgender white male, I forget his name, used to call in all the time. I had no problem with him. You want to be referred to as a woman, I refer to you as a woman. How does that make me less than because I'm giving another human being respect? Whether I understand it or not doesn't really matter. It don't matter. Because, I'm a heterosexual man, right? I want to be referred to by his and him. If somebody start calling me her and she, I'm going to have a problem with it. Right? So why would I disrespect somebody else in the same manner? That don't make you smart. That don't mean you closer to God. You might have some Christian folks out there that think that they're godly. God made you this. That's not, you're not God though. You ain't God. You just a simple, flawed, sinning ass, selfish creature, human, just like everybody else. You ain't no better. You ain't no better. Sometimes I feel like non-trans people, transgender people think they better. You ain't no damn better. You ain't no better than nobody else just because they happen to be transgender. That's just me personally. That's just me personally. You know what I'm saying? You know, I try to meet people where they are, but I want to know what you think about it. Do you think, and again, at the beginning of it, the transgender woman actually was on some games themselves and referred to the man as a she. I guess she felt like she was going to pay him back. So, you know, again, I'm taking from the video and asking a question that may not be in the video itself. I'm just using it as an example. But the video itself, man, I mean, you know, maybe this transgender woman, born a man, is really in their feelings about it. Maybe she has been disrespected in different stores and things like this, and enough was enough. Okay, that happens sometimes. I get it. I think that she should have conducted herself a lot better. She didn't have to start cussing and all this other kind of stuff and getting all loud. You ain't got to do all that. If you're going to file a complaint, just file a complaint. And believe it or not, you can have a complaint, you can have an experience in a situation like that and not get all loud about it and deal with it. You know what I'm saying? You can do that too. You can do that too. So I think there's some blame to go around in this particular scenario. I do not believe that the trans woman dealt with it right. You know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes you got to get loud with people. Yes, you do. If that's what she felt like she had to do, absolutely. But you tell me what you think. TNT writes, he should have said, sir, I prefer to be addressed as a female pronoun instead of assuming disrespect when it could have been by habit. He says the ish 10 times in a day. Right. And clearly the trans, she was in her feelings. Clearly she was in her feelings because she could have dealt with that a lot better. Even if she was right. She could have dealt with that better. And as an employee, the employee most certainly could have dealt with that better because you're on the clock, bro. You're on the clock. Cass writes, I agree. If they make it known that they want to use a specific pronoun, you should respect it. But let's be honest, some of those trans women still look like men they were. You can't always tell how someone wants to identify based on how they look. You're right. And that's why I say go neutral with it. Go neutral with it. Anthony writes, right on, bro, but if you can clearly see how they are dressed, it ain't that hard. Or if they correct you, then you accommodate them, right? If you out and you make a mistake, okay, great. People can tell when you make an honest mistake. That's the other thing. Some people try to throw things in and try to be slick with it, and they're really trying to throw shade and try to throw darts and stuff like that. But people can tell when people honestly make mistakes or just don't really know what's going on and react accordingly. People can tell the difference. If that's me, I'm going to go neutral with it unless they give me some cues. Like if I say the wrong thing and somebody correct me and I'm in a situation like that, I'm a Popeye's cashier. Oops, my bad. Sorry, ma'am. And then give them the respect that they want because it means nothing to me. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. That's how I look at it. Drop writes, the customer is always right. DeAndre got jokes. The most important question is, did Popeyes have chicken because the one in Forest Park be running out? That's the most important question. TNT writes, give people grace and enough mutual respect to abandon truth to appease your preference. Right. I try to respect people where they are. Period. It's no sweat off my back at all. It means, and really, it just builds integrity and personal character. Sean writes, love that chicken from Popeyes. Y'all hilarious. Alicia is just laughing at DeAndre. Cleopatra Jones writes, what's going on with Cal Rittenhouse? I don't know. I'm not talking about that right now. I'm not sure. Professional Reimbursement Network writes, laughing at DeAndre. Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Needed that laugh. Oh, absolutely. Mattress Gone writes, but there's trans in the hood that look like males. And what if you actually said him, sir? I don't think it should be personal if that's what it is. I agree with you. I think as a trans person, you got to get thick skin and understand that a society is still growing and maturing. Everybody's not mature on everything. But it sounds like she was really in her feelings that day, and it was just the wrong day, and then she popped off. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nate. Deborah Nesbitt.
Hey, good morning, Deborah. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. My pronouns are she, her, hers, by the way. For anybody wondering, just so you know.
All right.
I don't know. This trans thing is really tripped out for me. There's definitely an age gap here. I'm 50 now, so I'm old school. You know what I mean? I hate to say it, but I really feel sorry for trans people. And they don't want my pity, but that's how I feel. We just gonna be honest. I'm just putting it all on the table. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm probably definitely wrong. I'm just telling you what Deborah's mind says. And I feel sorry for anybody who just can't accept their body or whose mind is telling them they're in a different body. Like, I can't even fathom what that feels like. I do know, however, what it feels like to be disrespected. I have this conversation with men all the time about the word ma'am. You know, older women hate being called ma'am. And men are like, well, we're just being respectful. That's what my mama taught us, so that's what I'm going to do. Men do that all the time. And women will be like, I really don't like being called ma'am. And then they'll be like, well, some women like being called ma'am. It's like, okay. But a lot of people don't. And men come up with a lot of reasons why it's still okay. And my response to that is, you don't behave in the same way you did when you were a child. You know, if things that were appropriate when you were a child aren't necessarily appropriate when you're an adult. So yes, when you're a little kid and you call somebody ma'am, it's respectful. When you're a grown man, not so much. It can almost be insulting. And so we have to learn how to address people the way they want to be addressed. I put in the comments, call a grown black man boy and see how this comment changes. You don't do that. You
But
know,
that's
we were
obvious,
once
though,
called
Deborah. That's
we
not.
were once called Negro. We were once called colored. We don't call black people colored people anymore. And we don't do that. So yeah, you address trans people the way they want to be addressed. I just feel like it's a lot of issues right there around this. Just general. I was gonna call you anyway because I had an issue with I went out into the world yesterday, which is something I don't normally do. I'm like social distancing and stuff. But I went out yesterday and the world hasn't changed much in the way of misogyny and racism. I had to get a car estimate, right? As a black woman. So you go out into the world and you're like, I need to get 2 estimates for these cars. Okay. And I'm gonna, go with the lower estimate. Go to the first guy, black gentleman at Midas. He's like, okay, I'll give you this car estimate, and then we'll give you another one from another location, and then you got it. Like, no, that doesn't work for me. I want your estimate, and then I'm going to a whole nother location that has nothing to do with your brand and get an estimate from them. All right, well, if that's what you want to do, but that is exactly what I want to do. So then I went to another car location, and the reason I'm doing this, I don't know if I told you this, but I'm in the process of adopting these 2 children. And so I think I've said this a lot. And Thursday, tomorrow, is finally our final adoption day. This is it. And as a part of the adoption, as a part of this program, they're helping me repair my car, which is great. Like, you know what I mean? So I can actually get these kids back and forth to school. So that's why I have to get the 2 estimates for the cars because they take the lower estimate. So I went to the other car shop and the guy was like, I just happen to notice that everybody comes in here for this program is a minority. Like he said that dead to my face. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, but I bet the majority of people that come in here are also women. And he was like, yeah. I said, how many women have you ever hired in your car shop? However many black women or black people have you hired in your car shop? And there's nobody in there. And he's like, oh, like he just put 2 and 2 together. Like people just have to learn stuff. When some people are so behind on the learning curve, we're going to be dealing with this stuff for a long, long time because we're all stuck in our biases. Nobody wants to admit they're wrong. Everybody has to be right. I'm as guilty of that as anybody. Like I was wrong about a lot of things. I was wrong about a lot of things that I thought about Kamala Harris that I'd heard in the news. I was wrong about I'm just wrong about a lot of stuff. And you just have to grow up and admit you're wrong. And trans people, we're just going to have to learn to accept whatever it is they're shilling and just accept whoever they feel that they are. It's weird to me. It's odd to me. But they're people and they deserve to be respected. So, I don't know. Check your biases. Check your privilege. And be respectful out there. Be kind. Kindness don't hurt nobody. And that's my sermon for today. See you out
Appreciate the
here on the
flows.
internet.
All right. That's Deborah Nesbitt. Appreciate it. And props to you for adopting 2 children, man. People are always talking about what we need to do, but you actually doing it. So props to you, sis. A couple things, though. One, I think that your example doesn't equate when you were saying, well, what do you call a grown man boy? That's not the same as calling a grown woman ma'am. I'm trying to think. I think maybe I've had a friend or two that hit that late 40s mark and they're like, don't call, I hate it when people call me sir. I don't think anything of it, man. I'm just glad to be here. So if people want to call me sir, they see these gray hairs or they pick up that I'm older, they want to call me sir. You go right ahead. I get it. It's a respect thing. That could be a future conversation, though. Is it disrespectful to call an older black woman ma'am? I think it depends on the individual. I thought it was about respect. So that could be just a thing with you, or I don't know. I'm curious, but I don't have a problem with that. If somebody wants to call me sir, cool. I don't think shit else about it. I guess it comes with these gray hairs. Um, I personally don't feel sorry for trans people. I don't feel sorry for gay people. What I feel sorry is that we live in a world full of isms, and there's a lot of immature people out here. I feel sorry that people have to deal with that kind of stuff. And I just wish people peace. I wish people peace, that they find themselves, that they find who they are and can make peace with it. But I don't feel sorry for trans people. I don't think there's anything to feel sorry about. If they, once they figure out that they're trans and that they who they are, cool. They in the same spot as everybody else. You got a lot of heterosexual people out there that trying to figure out who they are. They don't know who they are. And in a sense, it may not be about their sexuality, but it could be about them. And they struggle to figure out who they are and what their core value system is. So I just wish people find peace in themselves, no matter what their circumstance. And I feel sorry for anybody that's got to deal with an immature public. Black, white, gay, LGBTQ, religiosity, not religiosity, atheist, whatever. You got a lot of immature people out there that might react. So that's what I feel. But I appreciate the call, though. And again, props to her, man. Appreciate that. Charlie Wimber is in the house. He writes, good morning, wonderful people. We're wonderful and great people. Winners focus on winning. Absolutely. Absolutely. Every day, all day. Brent writes, I've taught my sons that a yes, ma'am, and yes, sir will have adults more likely to look at them in a positive light because it's a term of respect. Right. So maybe it's an age thing. So maybe if it's a younger person, they don't have a problem with it. But maybe you get somebody that's in their 50s and 60s, and then somebody in their late 30s and 40s says sir to them, then or ma'am to them, they feel some kind of way about it. But me personally, I don't feel no ways about it. I don't feel no ways. I just take it for what it is. Just trying to show respect. I don't feel older, or they think I'm older. I don't feel that way. I don't know. Maybe it'll change, but right now, I don't feel that way. Looking at the dial, it's about that time. I want to bid you farewell, and I hope you have a happy hump day, have a happy and productive Wednesday. I hope to be back and better than ever with you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Again, my mother passed away on Monday, so it's a day-to-day situation in terms of me doing the show. I feel this is what I do, so I don't feel as if I won't be with you. But again, I reserve the right to be in my feelings tomorrow morning, and it is what it is, and I'll just have to make amends with my business relationships. Okay. I call everyone ma'am and sir. Yeah. I was brought up that way, by good Southern black folks. So that's the way they raised me. So I don't think anything about it. So again, have an excellent rest of your day. All right. Oh, thank you so much, Deborah. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yep. It's that circle of life, man. I circle of life, and it was very emotional. I'm standing there as the life is leaving my mother's body. So it's a very difficult thing, but it's a thing. That's the way she would have wanted, right? Every parent wants to leave this world before their children, and she lived to be in her 70s, and all of us are grown with children, and she got a chance to experience all of that. And I hope that I get a chance to see my children grow up and start their lives and have children and all that kind of stuff. She got a lot of grandchildren that love her, and hopefully she's in a better place. All right, so. Greg writes, how is sir or ma'am disrespectful? That's what Deborah Nesbitt said. I think, I can't speak for her, but I think I've had a couple male friends who in their late 40s felt some kind of way about millennials referring to them as sir. I wouldn't bother me one bit, but everybody's different. So maybe that's what it is, like an ageism kind of thing. It makes them feel old. Again, not speaking for Deborah because she didn't speak on that, but that's just me just spitballing, trying to make sense out of it. I say meet people where they want to be met. You know, you want somebody to respect you, so respect them. You know, you get the energy back that you put out in the world in some cases, not always. Sometimes you don't get what you deserve, but sometimes you do. So again, folks, have an excellent rest of your day. I want you to have a very productive day. Go out there and tackle the world and get things done. Don't forget the early voting opens on November the 1st. All right. Don't forget it ends on November the 1st, which is Monday. So Monday will be the last day of early voting. And then, of course, on Tuesday, November the 2nd, that's election day. And we'll see. I might be doing some CDM business with a live stream on Tuesday, which means I won't be out and about like I usually am. All right. And if that doesn't happen, then I'm going to be hitting up all the parties. You know me. I want to hang out with the winners. I ain't going to no loser parties. I'm sorry. All right. I don't like the energy at the loser parties. Faces are like this. I want to go to the winter party where they passing out the champagne, although I won't be drinking, and people are happy and making connections and things like that. I'll be at all the winter parties depending on what happens with this CDM business, okay? So again, have an excellent rest of your day, family. All right? We'll catch up real soon. And don't forget, do your due diligence. Make sure you get out and vote.
Good morning, Choppers. I'm Scotty Johnson, candidate for Cincinnati City Council. Unfortunately, injustice remains in the city of Cincinnati. A remedy for injustice is courageous, bold leadership. I plan on bringing that type of leadership to City Hall. It's time to stop talking about it and to start doing something about it. Disparities have been in Cincinnati far too long. I'm the candidate to address those disparities. Vote Scotty Johnson for Cincinnati City Council.
Paid for by friends of Scotty Johnson.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a fuck, that's what they don't understand. I'm back again like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a fuck, I don't care. Did the for my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get on my God, on my totem is nothing. In the discussion, for them feelings I throw on my pain on percussion. It's disgusting. I hear them bragging about that they did, and it do not move me, not in the least. They ain't been dropping no seeds in the soil, but swear that you almost spotted the feast. I've been on go mode, show mode, showboat, rowboat, wave ride. Cool shorty, too naughty, pool party, wet for the face ride. Annie up, penny down, hand me down, thrift store, old drip. New money, too funny, old shorty, talk about old. I'm on they now, can't get a pass now. I'm a cash cow, keeping it brash now. It's trash now, I'ma spaz out. I've been killing my lows and living on highs. You see in the skies the proof. You could just see in my eyes that there is no lies. I cannot disguise the truth. I've been duck dog.